Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4playernetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy.
Can we start this podcast?
Yeah,
oh my god!
Technically, we have. This is just not officially recorded.
No, this is officially the podcast right here. We started it just a second ago. Hey everyone, welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 551. It is May
18th.
Really?
Yes.
May 18th,
No,
2000.
I'm sorry,
It's
May
the
17th.
God! May 17th, 2018.
Just restart the show.
Nope, we're not doing it. My name is Nick Henderson. I'm your host this evening. I am, of course, joined by Brad Simons.
Eyes.
What?
He's
What?
memeing it, Nick. He's memeing it.
Oh my god. Nolan
He's doing the
Hedstrom.
emote.
Would that it were so simple.
Oh my god. And filling in for Crispy this week is Chris. What? Christopher
Sorry, I was just
Davis.
thinking of the scene.
Hello.
Hello. That was very subdued for you, Chris Davis.
With Ray Fiennes.
What do you want to say? Good evening.
Yes, that's what you always say. It threw me off when I heard you just say hello. Anyways,
Everybody else was being audacious.
I can't believe it's Wraith. What kind of name is that?
wait, what?
Ray finds.
Rafe?
Yeah.
His
Everyone
name
thinks
is Rafe?
It's Wraith.
Oh my god.
But like it flows together, so no one actually knew that it was Wraith. People
Wait,
just thought it was like Ray Fiennes, but it's Wraith.
Is it Rafe Fiennes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's weird.
Wait, who? What?
Rafe
Voldemort.
Voldemort is Rafe Fiennes.
Voldemort is the
Are you
character?
sure? Are you just pulling my leg?
That's
I'm not
Voldemort.
pulling your leg.
Oh my god. Anyways,
It's true.
we need to get down to it. First of all, hello to everyone out there who's watching us live on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast. We welcome you. Thank you for watching us live. You can also, if you have not yet joined our community Discord, we invite every single one of you watching/listening to join our Discord. It's discord.gg/4players where you can find us. I just realized, Chris Davis, I didn't have you pull up the comments, and it does not look like you did.
Well,
So-
you didn't
in our
remind
Discord,
me.
you can even bring up topics like Uncharted 4, which was the only other occasion in my life where I heard of someone named Rafe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
But before that, it was just the weird Rafe Fiennes
Wait, did you learn this little fact in our Discord about Rafe Fiennes?
No.
I'm never-
yes. You learn all kinds of amazing things in our Discord.
I'm never gonna be able to say Rafe Fiennes ever again. I'm always gonna be like Rafe Fiennes. I'm just gonna
Rafe Fiennes.
Rafe Fiennes.
Rafe
How
Fiennes.
did this come up?
His wife says it
We
like
were
that.
talking about him. Chris Davis,
Yeah.
would that it were so simple.
Oh my
What is that?
god.
What?
I think that's a Hail Caesar thing.
Anyways,
Yeah.
welcome to the show. As you all know, this is the official podcast of 4playernetwork.com. We talk about video games each and every week. Thursday night, 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. Central
Somewhere in
Standard
there.
Time. Somewhere in that time we start recording these.
Definitely Thursdays.
Definitely, yes. That is consistent. Thursday nights.
Unless it's not, but yeah.
Unless it's unless it's not. But yes, thank you guys for being here. Anyways, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. If you have not yet listened to our podcast from last week, I would urge you to go do it. We're starting to feel that E3 hype, right? Everyone's
Yep.
getting kind of excited.
Yep.
We spent almost 3 hours last week talking about E3 predictions, and some of those predictions have already come to pass.
I know. I'm glad that we got it out of the way because now we know like so much more stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how much has transpired in the last week. There's more rumors we're going to talk about tonight. There's some stuff that we talked about last week that was rumors at the time that has now been confirmed.
Yep.
So we'll talk about all that stuff. Of course, I want to start the show as we always do by reading some feedback from last week. If there's anything that we talk about tonight that you guys want to chime in on, please hit up 4playernetwork.com, find the post for this episode, and leave us a comment, and we will read it at the start of next week's episode. Also, this is one thing I mentioned last week, and I actually got several emails. Thank you guys to the people who emailed me, and thank you to the people who I'm going to read here in a second who left some feedback on the show. But we were just trying to kind of get a better idea of like how people find our show, how they listen to it, how they subscribe to it, just so we can kind of get a feel for maybe where, things that we might be missing out on, ways we can kind of reach new people, that kind of stuff. So,
Does anyone listen to our show on like Pornhub?
Is our show on Pornhub?
I have not been putting it on
Carlos
Pornhub.
has done a couple of Chatterbait
Nick,
streams.
before the end of the night, you have to register our 4Player podcast account on Pornhub.
I think
Do
they
it now.
frown
All
upon
right.
the
Hey,
lack
this is
of
not a porn site.
This is also not a porn site.
But we have a porn account.
We will. I'm not putting the fucking podcast on Pornhub. That is not an option. But
If you don't do it, somebody else is going to.
sure. And
This is our community.
that's
Look at those people.
free promotion as
They'll
far
do
as I'm
it.
concerned. I'm just not doing the dirty work there. But like I said, if you have anything you'd like to share about, if you listen to our show predominantly as like an audio podcast, if you don't catch us live, if you're walking around, driving somewhere, listening to us, I want to know how you hear the show. Email me at nick@4playernetwork.com, or you can leave us a comment. A few people opted to do that. I appreciate any and all feedback. If you have any suggestions too, totally open to suggestions.
Yeah.
But our first feedback comes from Brendan. I think he's a first-time commenter too.
Ooh.
He says, "It was okay." I had a feeling this was going to happen. It was asked if a Philly cheesesteak is a sandwich.
Yes.
As a Philadelphia resident,
Ooh.
I believe I am more qualified. Mr. Guthridge, who is not here to defend or support this accusation or
That's
claim,
fine.
is correct. It is in fact a sandwich. Do we have anything to add to that?
No, of course. None of us denied.
I feel like
It's a
of all the
sandwich.
things that came up last week, that was kind of like the least controversial one.
Butters is here because he disagrees. What's up?
Oh my god.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, hello
How
Butters.
are you?
Hello.
This is
Hi.
He says that a Philly cheesesteak is a sandwich,
It's
but
like-
a hot dog is
he-
not.
Yeah,
the
we
dog-
didn't deny the Philly cheesesteak.
He like ran in here like, did somebody say Philly cheesesteak? I think the bigger question last week was hot dogs and tacos.
Yeah.
And no one those are not sandwiches. I think there are few people in Discord, some monsters out there who think that, but whatever. By the way, that was Burnsy who asked that question last week.
Thanks,
Oh,
Bernsey, for last week
okay.
for causing all this.
Well,
Sorry.
okay, bye, Butters. Thanks for
Butters
hanging out.
ran in, sabotaged a microphone, and then ran back.
That's how he does.
That's how he rolls.
Okay.
Thank you for your comment, Brendan. We appreciate your insight. The Metal Button says, what would make the podcast easier to listen to is if you dicks come over to my house to have the podcast.
Ooh.
I have nice, comfortable chairs, and I would make you, I assume he means make you hot chocolate. Other than that, I'm subscribed on iTunes, and it works just fine. Also, to jump off of Brad's ridiculous podcast downloading process, I used to download the podcast from from the website on my PS3, then connect my PSP and transfer the file to listen on the go.
That's
Wow.
dope.
Oh my god!
That's dope.
Dedication there.
Holy shit! I thought Brad's process was bad. Woo! KNC Cito says, the way Brad gets podcasts is exactly how I get podcasts. I go to whatever website, download, then transfer to my phone. I feel old now. Is there a better way to do this nowadays?
That's the question.
What is wrong with you people?
What can we do to make it easier for you?
Guys, there's like, I'm pretty sure there are like numerous apps you can download on your phone that are specifically for downloading and managing and subscribing to podcasts.
1 in 3 of you has to have an iPhone.
If you
so
have
have
an-
an iTunes account.
If you have
I have one of those, but I still don't use that because it's like a disaster.
If
They like
you
want
ha-
to auto download.
you don't have an
podcasts.
iPhone, right? You have an
Dude,
Android.
Brett, I
No,
literally, because I was curious, I was actually talking to I brought this up before the show, I was talking to some of my coworkers about podcasts, and I was like, I want to start getting to some more, there's like one of my coworkers told me about that's like news,
Yeah.
it's like a 10-minute podcast today just about, hey, this is what's going on right now in the world, and there's another one called Freakonomics,
Freakonomics is good.
which sounded interesting to me.
I've read that book.
And so I was like, hey, how do y'all get y'all's? And both of them got them through the iPhone podcast app. But I don't really want to do that
That
because
is what
my
I use.
iPhone has about 0.0 fucks of memory left constantly. It is constantly telling me it's out of memory.
But you can stream them.
Yeah, sure. But so I want to do it on my Android because my Android has a lot of memory. And so I
Yeah.
downloaded some app. It's called, hold on, what's it called? Castbox. Our podcast is on it.
Okay.
That's probably because it connects to our
Well, yeah, so
RSS feed.
it's an app that literally goes out and grabs podcasts from different places.
Sure.
And so you could subscribe to our podcast on it, and it'll auto
Yeah.
download, like just as an example,
But
or any
where
other.
do they download? See, the problems I have is I'd have
From
all these
other-
downloads in all these different folders, and
But
getting
Brad-
rid of them was
but
a pain in the ass.
That's the thing is apps like this, just wherever it gets posted, it'll go grab it from there, and then if you say, "Hey, download that," it will download it from there onto your phone, and you can save X amount and have them
Also-
auto delete or have
Yeah,
them auto
also,
download.
I don't know if it does this by default, but like the iTunes podcast app that I use, which comes pre-installed on every iPhone out there, and you know how many people have iPhones. When you subscribe to a podcast through that app, it'll tell you the most recent available episode. When you hit play, and then you finish the episode, it automatically removes it from the list, so it's gone.
I mean, episode 550 is on here.
Yeah.
No,
Our
I've
E3
used
prediction
like a million
sandwiches.
apps like that, and I even listen to them through one of those apps where you can download the podcast through the app, but I still don't download them through the app because I don't like that.
What? so you just don't like the convenience? I don't know.
No, it's not convenient.
I don't
It's just
understand.
not
I don't
as
understand
well
you old
organized.
fogies. I'm just saying. By the way, since we're talking about it, I don't say this very often. I probably should say it more. But our podcast is currently available on several platforms, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, which is not up to date. I need to update that. But
Well, it's no longer Google Play. It's now YouTube Music.
Yeah.
They just
shit.
rebranded it.
Oddly
Yeah.
enough,
Today.
just out of
shit.
curiosity, I was kind
I
of
didn't
looking.
think about that.
I was looking at our podcast on this thing, and there's a section for similar channels, and one of them is the MMA Beat, and the other one is French Your Way Podcast. Learn French with Jessica.
All right.
Who's Jessica?
I don't know.
That sounds right to me.
Sounds
I
like a
suppose.
bad app.
Similar
is
to
what
our
it sounds
podcast, though.
I do want to say we do appreciate any and all subscriptions and reviews, guys. I don't push this nearly enough, but reviews. We're actually really high up. I looked the other day in the iTunes store to kind of see where we rank still, because we used to be on like the front page. Of course, the format's changed so much over the years, but like we used to be kind of on the front page of like gaming podcasts on iTunes all the
Yeah.
time.
Back when we were popular.
But like they don't organize apps the same way. But we were on the featured page for gaming podcasts. It's just structured a little bit differently. But we were up there next to like Giant Bomb and Kind of Funny and all that stuff. Maybe a little bit farther down. But like that's because people leave reviews. So if you have not, we have a lot of reviews, but a lot of them are older. So if you listen to the show now and you never left us a review, we'd really appreciate it if you headed over there and left us a review.
Yeah.
It helps us out a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways, and Ichis Kid, who has our last comment of the day, says this is E3 related. WB and Platinum have worked with each other so much. First of all,
What?
What?
what have
When?
they worked on together?
We'll just continue
Just
reading.
continue.
He
the
says
question.
Warner Brothers and Platinum have worked with each other so much. I'm thinking there's a slim chance of a Batman Beyond game from Platinum. I don't.
I think
No.
he's thinking of Activision.
Maybe.
Yeah, they've worked. They did the Transformers,
Transformers
game and the
games,
Teenage
Turtles,
Mutant Turtles.
Korra.
That was Activision, not Warner Brothers.
He's probably
Yeah.
thinking of Activision, which means Call of Duty from Platinum Games.
That would probably be the most interesting Call of Duty game to be made in years.
No.
It'll be the first good Call of Duty game.
Well, that's also not
They did
true.
make Vanquish. Just merge Vanquish with Call of Duty.
That's not bad.
Yeah, Advanced Warfare or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys for your feedback this week. Like I said, if there's anything you want to throw in there or any comments based on anything we talked about tonight or last week, we'll be talking about E3 for weeks. So if you have any more E3 predictions, thoughts, questions, leave us a comment at 4playernetwork.com. We'll get to those at the start of the next episode. Last bit of house cleaning before we move on is... What was I going to... I totally lost what the fuck I was going to say. Oh, yeah. I wanted to mention E3 plans. We haven't really set everything in stone yet. But
Well, nothing's ever set in stone.
yeah, but like it's
But
getting
the dates of the conferences are...
the dates of the conferences are set in stone. And we're going to be, of course, covering the show. Some of us will be at the show. We'll have more to talk about when we have a chance to kind of figure out how we're going to do it, because we're going to be kind of split. Some people in Austin, some people in LA. I'm not sure how it's going to happen yet. But as far as the conferences go, we're actually not leaving for LA until Monday this year, which is different. We usually leave on Sunday. And Sunday happens to be a day now that has several big conferences, i.e. Microsoft and Bethesda being two of the biggest ones.
Yep.
E3 is literally a week long now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's definitely a week long.
The show floor is now it's 3 days as it's always been during the middle of the week, but the press conferences start earlier now. So EA's on Friday. Why Friday? That's bizarre because like there's nothing on
it's
Saturday.
EA.
There's nothing on Saturday.
It's like when
Because they
Fox...
control the press cycle for a
Well,
weekend.
no,
I
it's
guess-
also like when Fox puts a TV show on Fridays to kill it. I mean, that's what's going on.
Or that.
Put them on Friday. No one cares.
what about TGIF?
But
Maybe they're just publicly executing like half of the Bioware staff there.
maybe I don't know what EA is weird, but that's gonna be on Friday. But anyways, Sunday is a day that just happens to have several big conferences. We're all gonna still be in Austin at that time.
Yep.
So our plan is right now. We're probably going to sit in this room and live commentate them. So that'll be fun.
I'm ready. I'm excited.
I'm very excited, especially for those two. I think Microsoft has a lot to prove, which makes it exciting. And I think Bethesda, nobody knows what the fuck Bethesda has. So, with the exception of the one thing we're going to talk about
I mean,
tonight,
Skyrim.
but like that's not a given.
It's
a given. It's a given for the next at least 4 more years.
I see where you're coming from.
I'm so sick of Skyrim.
Just how many more platforms could they possibly put it on?
Hey, right here.
That joke has.
I guarantee you,
guys,
it's coming
that
to
joke
phones.
has left the station. The joke is.
It's coming
We've
to
beaten the dead horse. The
phones.
Skyrim dead horse has been
It's
beaten
coming
to
to
death.
phones. It's
Well,
coming
you know
to,
what, Nick?
to
That dead
Nest.
horse got golden armor on it, and it is immune to your beatings. It's coming to phones.
Oh my God.
But for $5.
Speaking of dead horses,
We have there's
God of War.
plan on us doing a live commentary of the press conferences on Sunday.
Yep.
We'll figure out how we're going to do Monday. Some of us will be traveling on Monday, but there's conferences going on then as well, including Sony in the evening. And then, of course, several of us will be on site to play games and talk about them throughout the week. We'll announce more of that as we have a chance to kind of set some of that stuff in stone. So stay tuned on our social networks, Twitter, on the podcast, and on the site at 4playernetwork.com. We'll keep you all posted on how that's going to work.
Be sure to download that audio file and drag it over into the other folder, and then listen to it, and then you'll have the news.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if that's how everybody listened to podcasts, I feel like we wouldn't have a very big audience because nobody wants to do that except for Brad.
Say what?
What? Nothing, Brad. Don't worry about it. Anyways, let's get right to it. There's a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I'm actually going to let Brad.
Did you say big podcast?
What?
What
No.
did
Break up, Brad.
Big podcast in your ears.
That was very Joseph of you. Oh my God. So Brad, I'm gonna let you start off tonight because you're playing one of the. Is this a newer?
No, this came out in January.
Yeah, no.
Oh well,
it's
fuck.
not.
Well, it's still newer than mine. So we're gonna start. We have a few impressions, then we're gonna jump into like a bunch of news topics.
I want to start by saying I'm sorry that I have not played enough, or I'm sorry that I'm not talking about Pillars of Eternity 2 tonight. It's only because I have not played enough to get to the big new thing about that game, which is kind of the pirate ship and all the ship battles and the exploration, open world exploration. So I'm gonna at least wait till I get to that stuff before I talk about it on the podcast.
For sure.
The game I have been playing is a game that is on the Switch, but it's also on other things. A lot of other things.
Are you playing it on Switch?
You can even play it on your phone.
Use your words, Brad.
I've been playing Dandara.
Ooh.
Are you playing it on your Switch?
Yes, I'm playing it on my Switch. The reason I got it on the Switch is because this is a game that released for both mobile and consoles.
Yep.
And the reason I got it on Switch is because that's the only place you can either use the analog sticks or the touchscreen to play. Because I've read some reviews that say they actually think it's maybe better with a touchscreen because it was originally designed for a touchscreen. But I find myself using the sticks anyways. And once you get into when you start seeing the footage, this is just a trailer. I didn't get a chance to capture footage, but this is the game that I'm playing. This is a Metroidvania style game, but it has a weird conceit, and that's that you can't actually walk around. You can only
you tilting the world.
you can only
game.
No, you don't tilt the world. The world sometimes will just tilt because there is no real true gravity in this thing. You're always kind of shifting because there's no up or down. You can't walk. You can only stick to surfaces and jump from surface to surface to surface.
That is bizarre.
But it leads to and there's a lot of combat in this game, and there's a lot of
it's very fast paced.
navigation. You can go moving really fast.
Yeah.
Because you're just going. It's almost like VVVVV,
Yeah.
which was a game that
was a great game.
You could walk around
Does
in that.
does not having control of the character feels good, satisfying?
Well, what it does is it leads to tricky things where you have to keep on the move and while firing your weapon at the same time. I thought this trailer was a little bit longer, but it's a little loop.
I like the character design.
So what's cool about it is because you can't shoot your firearm right away. There's a split-second charge, which means you kind of have to commit to your shots. So there's this back and forth of well, I got to commit to this shot, but am I in a safe place to take this shot? Because there's shit coming towards you or enemies that are about to attack you. So you get into this rhythm of jumping from roof to ceiling or from surface to surface while lining up these shots, especially in boss fights where I think you saw that big head.
Yeah.
That was one of the
Looked
first
like
big
M.
bosses
Bison.
in the game. Yeah, it looked like M. Bison. So, like I was chasing this dude going from platform to platform, but there was like enemies on the platforms, and he was attacking me, and I was trying to avoid his fire while lining up my shots. And the truth is, sometimes the most tense moments are just in really small areas with a dense amount of fire, and you can kind of see that here.
This
in
is so
the
cool
trailer.
looking.
It's a really strange conceit that you can't just walk, but they do some really cool things with it so far. I'm not like super far in the game, but kind of like moving platforms and platforms that kind of flip every time you shoot.
Yeah.
So you really got to kind of think ahead, even though you can get going. You can start moving really fast once you kind of know where you're going. And because it's a Metroidvania, you are doing a lot of backtracking. So when you kind of know where you're going and you've already cleared out some of the enemies, because it's sort of a Souls-like thing.
They don't respawn?
Well, you have sort of like a bonfire sort of thing. And there's corpse runs. So it's very Souls-like,
I was going to ask, in regards to the Metroidvania aspects, what kind of what's making it Metroidvania? Are you getting new weapons? Are you getting new
like you're
abilities?
gated in certain ways, so you'll get upgrades and abilities that will let you get into areas that you couldn't get into before. Like I got kind of a missile that let me shoot through rock walls, and I've got the ability to flip surfaces like at a further distance at certain points that let me get to parts of the world I wasn't able to get to before. But it's a very kind of almost claustrophobic in a lot of ways. So sometimes you're in these very tight spaces and corridors, and they could be very maze-like of just trying to figure out how to get around and kind of navigating those spaces.
So I'm getting like an 80s vibe from it. How's the music?
Music is good. I feel like a lot of it is kind of more atmospheric, almost like a Metroid game.
Okay.
But like the boss fights music is like really cool, and yeah.
I've got two questions.
Sure.
Does it have like a cool story conceit to it at all?
I can't really say yet. At least, I mean,
I don't usually expect much of a story from these kinds of games.
Minimal. It's from what I've experienced so far, I have bet some of these.
I mean, I think the genre in general tends to be kind of minimal when it comes to its storytelling. So I wasn't really expecting that, but also on a more general level, you're playing it on your Switch. Do you feel like that is a good choice if you're going to play this game?
Because you can use the touchscreen or the analog stick. Because if you're using the analog stick, you kind of have to aim in the direction you want to jump, obviously. Which you could do that really quick. You just aim in the direction. But if you're just using the touchscreen, just flicking in the direction you want will make her go to the different surfaces. So that kind of works too. But
does it auto detect the surfaces, or
there's some
like aim assist in a way?
There's some aim assist, okay, to kind of help with that.
Because just how fast it's going in this trailer here,
you get going really.
It gets really fucking complicated,
but so it has the Metroidvania elements and it has the Souls-like elements as well.
I'll be honest, I didn't watch a trailer for this before. I just saw you put it on the dock and I saw some screenshots.
Yeah,
I honestly did not expect this to be this type of game from what I was seeing. So this is actually kind of a nice surprise, and it looks like something that would be fun to play on my Switch because I've been looking for something to play.
Dude, honestly, I really wish I would have. I briefly heard about it. But I really wish I would have downloaded it because I just took a trip to Atlanta, like a 4-hour plane ride, and that would have been great to have on.
It's definitely tricky, getting used to it, and it could be tricky figuring out how to navigate the more maze-like areas. But it is definitely unique, and because of that, I would recommend trying it. I got it when it was on sale.
How much is it?
I think it's normally $15. I got it when it was like 10 or whatever.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad though.
Yeah, they do a lot of sales.
I really want to play
these indie games for the Switch.
This looks so fucking cool.
I meant to play it back in January, but Monster Hunter already come out.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's your problem.
Oh, I keep forgetting I have that game now.
Does the game ever go Dandara?
No.
Sometimes Nolan asks weird questions.
Although there was a point where the boss was like, "What are those?"
Oh, really?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh my goodness!
You got me good, Brad. You got me good.
That was pretty good. All right, cool. Anything else you want to say about this one?
No, it's cool. I'll play more of it.
Man, I kind of want to play this. I want to have something I can play on the go, play at work and stuff.
You don't have to play this. The Switch has thousands of
No,
indie
I know,
games to
I know,
play now.
but like
There's all kinds of
I was
crazy
looking
shit.
through the library trying to figure out what. Because one thing I know when I go to E3, I think I'm going to take. I think I'm at picking up that Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
You're not gonna take your
That's a
PS4
good
with
one
you?
because what I heard.
What?
You're not gonna take your PS4 with you? Just your Switch? Okay, just checking.
You know what's
I
a really
still
good
roll
indie
my
game
Vita.
to take
I
that's
like
on your
Vita.
Switch?
Wait, what?
You know what's a really good indie game to take that's on your Switch?
Golf Story?
Yes.
Well, also World of Goo, which you have a code for that you never probably even install. World of Goo is like an exceptional game. It's also like at 94 on like Metacritic. Like it is not just me. This is
I know.
honestly up there with the greatest indie games ever made.
Got him.
With Hollow Knight and like Braid and stuff. Like it's I hate that, y'all. I'm the only one here that's played this game.
I know.
Excuse me? Fuck you, Brad.
I know
Oh,
you
shit.
played.
I
some
played
of
the
it,
shit out of
but,
that
like,
game.
It goes places, and you got to play all of it.
Yes, I know it goes places, but I'm sorry, I haven't devoted my life to it.
It's not long.
That's what she said.
Oh.
Yes, Nolan. Yes.
Fuck you, Carlos. You haven't played it either, and you got a code too.
Oh
right?
my god.
No,
so
you already
much-
have it.
Throwing around so much shame and shade. This is great. All right. Chris Davis, you have a game,
Yes.
which I think is also newer than mine.
Well, Brad talked about it a couple weeks back, but
Oh, is this the one that was kind of like what did it look like? Never mind. Just pull up the footage.
Battletech.
Yeah, you've been playing Battletech.
It's the
I knew
the
it sounded familiar.
Kind of like
tactics XCOM like with big old mechs on a map and
Yes, but in my head I'm getting it confused with the other mech game that the fucking FTL guys made.
Into the Breach.
no.
Into the Breach. I'm having trouble in my mind just
I
differentiating.
mean, in a
the two.
very, very limited way, it's similar.
No, it's not like it at all.
I mean, that's
But
like
it is a
comparing
good companion game.
Yeah.
It is the year of the mech game.
It's comparing a
It-
good
it
game to a
kinda
bad
is.
game.
So Brad talked
What are you
about a bunch
talking
of the just the basic combat of the game, but I captured some footage.
deeper.
And I just wanted to show off a few things that's kind of like in the meta game, like the
of
home
course.
base XCOM stuff.
Did you bring footage of menus, Chris?
Just for like the first like 2 minutes, okay? So
just so you know,
I'm a little
I
bit
hate
further in the
menus.
game than I think than Brad is. I've earned a ship called the
I
Argo.
have that ship. What are you
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I don't remember you mentioning it. So
Is-
That's what I talked about it like 3 weeks
does
ago.
the ship come with Ben Affleck?
no, it does not.
Yeah, I talked about this
Sorry.
game weeks
You're-
ago.
Nolan,
Yeah.
you make the weirdest connections in your brain. Sometimes.
How is that a weird
That's
connection?
the movie Argo.
There's
know.
another thing called Argo.
I know.
Yeah.
He just turns them into weird like dad jokes.
The first thing I kind of love about this game is that it's incredibly informative. Everything you see on this screen has a tooltip to it.
Oh man,
There's always there's
so,
so much information that tells you exactly what this does, what this earns you, what its capabilities of. It's wonderful. It's so
it's
fucking
wonderful
good.
if you like to read a billion things.
which I don't.
This
But
is not
I
actually
appreciate
all
it.
that. Go ahead. I don't want to. I don't want
It's not,
Jump
but
on
it's
what
not
you're
done
saying.
in a way that's overwhelming.
Yeah, it really isn't.
No, it's not at all.
There's not much
I get
going
overwhelmed
on here.
I get overwhelmed pretty
outside
quickly
of
by
mech
menus.
customization. The mech customization is intimidating, but the stuff outside of that is really. I mean, like if you've played XCOM 2, that strategy layer is way deeper than what you do in this. This is much like I said on the podcast when I talked about it. This is much more like the first enemy unknown
By the way, I realize now
Yeah.
this is not the game I was thinking of. I was thinking
outside
of,
of customization.
I was thinking of that other game that was like that we were comparing to Advance Wars. What game was
Into
that?
the Breach.
No, the other one. There was another one.
the
fuck
other
are you
Into the
talking
Breach.
about?
There's another.
I don't. Maybe it was Into the Breach.
Maybe you're losing your.
I don't know
goddamn
what's
mind.
going on, guys.
But dude, I have been having an absolute blast with it. I've put about 20 hours into it thus far. Another great thing about it is that it doesn't have that time pressure that XCOM has.
Yeah.
So you can infinitely delay like going to the next story mission and just
but
grind out
there's
regular
the
contracts.
pressure of the banks.
Not after a certain point, actually.
Well, there's
Of
Are
the
they
banks.
okay. It's not the banks, but there's still
So-
a financial pressure.
So yeah, there is the financial pressure of you have a monthly budget. You got to pay your
Yeah.
crew. You got to do maintenance and
Right,
things like
right,
that.
right.
Upgrade your mechs. So every 30 days, it comes due, and you have to pay a certain amount. Well, I mean,
Can
if
you
you're
earn enough
if you're
money?
not doing like contracts at all, yeah, sure, you're not going to earn any money.
Well,
But-
what do you do besides a contract?
You fly around in space and go to different planets.
And do
and
what?
do contracts.
Yeah, really, you just do contracts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It's
it's
story
really,
missions.
it's really you can. So they've. I don't know if you've really gone into the navigation aspect of the game, but there is a large star map of like.
Yeah.
It looks like at least 70, 80 planets that you can visit.
Is it not like a point? You just kind of point and it goes there, or do you
Yeah.
actually have to like
you
somehow
you
navigate
point on it. It's kind of like Mass Effect.
Okay.
You point at it, you press a button, and the Argo goes to it.
Yeah.
So it's not as good as Rebel Galaxy.
No.
I mean,
Which
Not
one
at
is
all.
that?
what can be Rebel Galaxy?
Oh wait, I remember that
That's
one.
Assassin's Creed 4 in space.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Travis Baldry, the guy Double Damage Games.
I remember that. I remember now.
So
But,
anyway, yeah, continue.
These all kind of have. Oh, never.
I mean,
So hold on. So what are you
Well,
doing
yeah.
in this scenario at least?
so in this scenario, this is a standard 2-skull contract.
I don't know what that means.
Skulls
Which
are
means
difficulty, right?
second level difficulty. This is, I guess, if a one skull is easy, this is a medium.
Okay. What is
Does-
what is the max?
It's a 5 skull,
oh, that'd be like.
and it does go in
skull
like
fuck or
half
something.
skull intervals. But like
What are you doing? Is
the
this
actual
just a-
intervals like of difficulty do not represent the actual skulls. They feel much more difficult.
Yeah, you lost me there.
So you're like two
So
skulls, and it's like immensely
like
more
an
difficult.
easy mission feels like it should be a half skull. A medium mission feels like it should be like a full skull or 1.5.
All right. Anyway, so
Anyway,
you're in
so
this
this
battle,
scenario,
You're fighting robots.
I've got my 4 guys. I'm sent on a mission to assassinate somebody who's spreading propaganda against local planetary government. I drop in with my 4 mechs.
And by
and this is
assassinate, you mean destroy their mech?
basically find their mech, kill them,
Or I was
and
like-
kill any reinforcements that appear.
I was hoping you had to like find a little person,
Yeah,
with a little
just
ant,
step
and
on 'em.
step on him.
yeah,
That'd
this
be
is
great.
This is one of those. This is a
You just-
standard.
You just
side
pee
contract.
really boiling hot oil on him because you're a robot. And you
Oh,
have
but
to
man,
roll
this
pee.
fucking combat, like, it takes you a bit to get used to like the numbers and how to strategize what target to hit and what part of the body on the target to hit.
Why?
Well, so every part
Same
of the
for the
mech.
head.
Well,
No, it's hard to
you
hit.
really you can't do that actually.
I can't.
You can do a precision attack with a percentage chance of hitting a head, like in Fallout, for example, with the
Vats.
The VATS. Yeah, it's supremely low. Like, you
So-
got to have a high
so what do you
quality
aim for?
pilot. So
I'd roll
you
the dice
don't
every
aim.
time.
So
Well,
your precision mode that you can do, you get
Well,
you
that
get 2
seems-
basic. So these you get 2 special abilities basically per pilot. You get a precision attack mode in which you can target particular parts of a mech
Okay.
and attack that or try to attack
But
it.
that uses morale.
But that uses morale, which is like a currency.
So it's like a currency that like if you kill mechs in battle, it'll fill up some so you can do special abilities basically. And
Yeah.
aiming at a specific part is a special.
So it's like
ability.
building confidence by
But you
taking
can
out
aim. It's just
Yeah.
all about positioning. Like if you're trying to target their right arm because that's where like their big AC-20 is, which is a really like dangerous weapon.
Yes.
You want to position yourself like on this side of their body
Sure.
because
You're more likely to hit that
much
arm.
more likely
Okay.
to hit that arm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it works like
So
that.
that's
or,
why
or if you knock them down because their stability.
Can you aim for the legs and like knock
You
him
can
down?
aim for the legs.
Yeah, you can.
and that'll
You
increase
said
the
you
chance of-
couldn't aim.
you can if
Well-
you use the precision mode.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it becomes a factor of precisely placing your mech
Okay.
across the battlefield and
And-
firing away.
So I guess it's just usually easier to not use precision mode because it's more at that point it's just about placing.
well,
the
again,
mech.
it costs that currency, the morale currency,
Yeah.
and that costs a lot. Like I think you max out at like 30 or 40, and in your bar,
Sure.
and it costs like 10 to 25.
Oh,
so you
wow.
want to save
precision.
that
Yeah, you want to save
for
it.
special occasions.
But every time you kill a mech, you tend to get at least 10 extra back, and then every turn you get 1 per pilot.
I like the battle effects. Like that looks
Oh,
pretty
dude,
satisfying.
the-
when you just-
It's super satisfying.
Oh, it is.
Ooh,
The
look at all
the
those
melee
exploding
combat
and
in this game is so fucking good.
melee combat.
Yeah,
You just saw
can
him destroy another.
Yeah, you just saw
punched
him. You just saw it. There was a locust mech, which is one of the lightest and one of the first mechs you encounter in the game.
Yeah.
And I've got heavy mechs that I'm carrying around, so I just ran out to him. And I just kicked the shit out of him, and he just fell over and died.
It's very much capturing the same feel of like any of those games where you're like shooting robots and like you see all like the pieces flying off of them and everything. I love that shit.
And that's what this game is.
Stomping on the tank is really satisfying.
I
too.
do that in this footage too.
Is it like a curb stomp kind of like a
Yeah.
head stomp?
Yeah,
kind of
it
thing?
just fucking bam.
I'm actually surprised by how many different like melee animations there are.
Oh, and you can your mechs can come equipped with and you can equip them with jump jets, so they can jump across the map to get better positioning. The more jump jets you have, the further you can go, but also the more heat it generates when you do the attack. Because half the combat is about managing your heat and preventing your mech from overheating and potentially shutting down.
So do you water cool your mech?
Yeah, you can go into water, or if you're in like an ice biome, go into certain parts of like ice area, and yeah, you can cool down much more.
Nice.
What?
No, I just chat. I don't know if it's not moving or.
Just no one's talking about that happens.
I mean, I don't know. So, in this footage also is another thing I love about this game: the fucking mech variety. Like I kind of cheated myself, and I went into a subreddit, and I pulled up a Google Doc
spoiling them for yourself.
all the fucking mechs, and there's like fucking 30 of them. And each time I go into a map and I encounter a new foe that I can potentially capture its like salvage remains for. Oh man, it makes every fight so much more exciting. I encounter what's called a hunchback mech right over there. That's the one. That orange one, that's
that very tiny one on the screen.
Yeah, it's in sensor range, but we can't tell what it is because it hasn't come into visual contact.
Yeah,
so it shows up like a radar blip, and that's how it approaches you. But that one hunchback has like 8 or 9 what are called M lasers attached to it, which is fucking insane. I've never seen a mech with more than like 3 or 4 of those at once.
So I suppose those do.
So they'll do 25 points of damage per shot if they hit. So he was doing like 200, 250 points of damage every time he was successful with all of those. Also, there's the boss of this map is in what's called a Jaeger mech, and I've only encountered it once as a story boss, and it was an asshole.
Is that where Jaeger gets his name? Is that a type of
probably
mech?
not,
or a type of. No, I mean, not specifically from this game, but isn't that like a type of thing that isn't Jaeger a type of like mech we typically see in things like?
I thought it was a type of Meister.
I don't know. Ignore me. I don't.
They call them Jaegers in Pacific Rim.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's true.
That is what I'm thinking of.
Oh, but just dude, this fucking combat is so good in this scenario right here. So this is later in the footage. I've gotten to where it's just the Jaeger mech and me. I go over to him. I've damaged him a bunch.
There's some melee
and
combat.
So there's if you do enough damage to him where he becomes unstable, you can actually knock him down on the ground. And when they're knocked down on the ground, they lose an initiative, so they go back in the turn order. So you can push your guys up. Every time an attack is done against those, they get a free precision shot. Which is that normally costs morale. Again, when I mentioned earlier.
But in this case, it doesn't.
It doesn't, because they're down. They can't do anything. They're trapped. You can just unload on them.
But it's necessary, especially if you're trying to collect mech parts, because if you just core a mech by destroying its center console or its center, torso, then you only get like one part. But if you like blow up both legs. You get 2 parts, and you need 3 parts to make the mech. If you kill the pilot, which you can strategically by targeting
the head
ammo, the head, but also
the ammo too.
Anytime ammo blows up,
does it cause like a chain reaction through the mech when you blow up their
ammo? It does. And
That's
if you do 3 hits on the pilot dies, and you get the whole mech.
Yeah,
Ooh.
And potentially undamaged if you're really careful.
So you could be up against something really dangerous that you're also trying to like obtain, and really kind of fucking yourself over, because basically every hit you take is just time and money. Yeah. So it's like, time and money are the resources in this game. So every mistake you make in battle is costing you, and that's
pretty
kind
sure
of
time and money are the resources.
It's like XCOM. Y'all played XCOM.
That is true.
Yeah, that is cool.
Looks fun.
It really.
I wish I could let myself get into games like this. It's just fucking.
And hell, this part is fucking tense right here when you're selecting what salvage you want to take back with you.
It is not tense. Why did you not take the? There's like a LRM.
Well, I took the Jaeger mech.
But there was like an LRM plus.
Yeah,
the pluses.
What are you guys talking about?
I mean, they're so there's you have weapons, and there's like bonus versions you can find on other mechs, as well as potentially buy as well. But I mean, I was hoping I would get that, but I'm really trying to grind for that Jaeger mech so I can have a team of 4 heavy mechs to take into the next story mission. Because I'm terrified of the story missions. They pay well, but they're extremely fucking tough.
Yeah.
I've lost like 2 pilots in those.
Are you still playing this, Brad, or have you kind of like moved on from it?
No, I mean, listen, I'm playing any and everything when I can.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, dude, this I highly recommend anybody that likes a good
It does seem
tactical strategy game. You would love Battletech.
It does seem like it's right up your alley.
The story could be better, but then again, I think
most games.
I'm so
like, in this
chicken
genre-
as to going to the next story mission
You say
that
that,
I
but
really don't want.
this is Harebrained Schemes that had really good stories in the Shadowrun games.
Yeah.
But, it's not bad here. It's just not up to that quality.
And the other thing about the story is that it's built in this universe that's been going on for like 50 years of writing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shit ton of depth to it.
Oh, this universe has been around for like.
Since like the 80s.
Tabletop. I feel like the conversation we had
Oh,
before.
this is a tabletop game.
It started as a tabletop.
Oh, I always see this when I go to like Dragon's Lair.
I don't
and
think
stuff.
you know how to
Yeah.
do math.
You're probably
Tabletop.
saying like Warhammer, but it's that type of game.
Mech Warrior's part of it.
Yeah.
Mech Assault is part of it in a way.
And I played.
Did you hear when we talked about this weeks ago?
I mean, dude, I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. Give me a break.
It's probably Wendy's.
I literally
because
no, it was not
that's
Wendy's
not like-
actually.
that's not significant or anything. Of course, you don't remember that, but podcast conversations.
I know what I had for lunch yesterday.
What did you have for lunch yesterday, Nolan?
Well, I was in an airport, so I ate
That's
at
why he
Atlanta
remembers.
bread.
Atlanta bread.
It's like a bistro.
Did you hear they're opening? What's that? They're at the Austin airport. They're opening one of the famous like food trucks that we have here. I can't.
Okay.
Which one is it?
Gordo's.
There's only one.
Is it like they open like a peach
Odd
tortilla
duck.
or something? I don't remember. Like one of those. One of those like fancy
Lupe
taco.
tortilla?
No, like
That's not a
peach
Not-
tortilla.
No, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
They're
That's gonna-
opening one of like the famous like Austin food truck locations. They're opening one at the airport, which seems cool. But anything in the airport is always going to be like two or three steps like worse than if you were to get it anywhere else.
Yeah.
I mean,
I still can't believe the one year we went to E3 and like Brad and Crispy and maybe even Chris Davis like flocked to the Chinese buffet at the Austin airport.
Oh no, that wasn't me.
It was definitely Brad
Yeah.
and it was definitely Crispy.
If it was at the Austin airport, I may have gone to like the.
And it was also
But
like
here's the thing you gotta understand. Here's the thing you gotta understand about Chinese food. Is it like it always sucks, right?
no.
No, like, I'm sorry.
You just had bad Chinese food.
no,
Yeah.
Chinese buffets always suck. That's what
Yeah.
No.
Chinese buffets
They're mediocre.
always suck.
But,
right?
like-
but like anything you're gonna get at the airport is gonna suck. But the Chinese buffet is gonna suck. So you know exactly what you're getting into because that is a certain like quality of food.
But, like, I
that
automatically
you've come
expect-
to know and understand and.
But like
and
I always
desire.
expect whatever's in the airport to suck more than any other. Like you seem to
I
think
know,
that.
but I'm saying you get a cheeseburger outside the airport and it's fine. You get a cheeseburger from the airport and it like fucking sucks, right?
Yeah.
But like you get the Chinese buffet sucks whether it's in the airport or outside the airport.
I know, but it
there's
sucks worse in the airport.
It all sucks.
But like there are levels of
That's not
suckitude,
true.
Brad.
Where's the good Chinese buffet in Austin? Tell me.
you had to challenge me.
Yeah. No, it doesn't fucking exist.
Doesn't Chinatown do a buffet every like weekend?
I don't know.
Because Chinatown.
First of all, Carlos is in chat. Buffet Palace is like the worst. I tried to convince myself for years it was great.
It
just
is
'cause
like
it's
one of 2 3.5-star Chinese buffets in Austin, which is the high.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to go to a Chinese buffet in Austin, I'd probably go
Brad,
to Buffet
let
Palace.
me counter
It's
with
not
this.
good.
Let me counter with this,
Exactly.
Brad. Are there any good buffets in Austin?
Yeah.
I think buffets in general
Brunch
just kind of
buffets?
suck.
Yeah, a Brazilian steakhouse.
I'm pretty much
You
past
gotta-
the point in my life where I think
Okay, well,
eating a
that's-
buffet is a good
That's
idea.
different. Hold on. You can't say like
Fogo
buffet
de
palace.
Chao.
You can't
That
say
doesn't count.
hold on. You can't say buffet palace where you go and pay like $8 for a Chinese buffet versus going to Fogo de Chao where you pay $50.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously the food's gonna be a little bit
Also,
better.
But brunch
I've never
buffets-
been. I've never heard of a buffet only costing $8.
Buffet Palace, it's like 10 or 12.
Like 12
Buffet Palace
Okay.
is like the Golden Corral of Chinese buffets.
As
It's a
in,
little
it
better than
sucks.
Golden Corral.
It's better than Golden Corral.
Yeah, but they have a really nice jingle.
Buffet Palace, the best
You
buffet.
can, there's some okay
know that
Indian
jingle.
buffets. There's some okay Indian buffets. That Mediterranean buffet up north is pretty good.
I learned from that
Tomas.
place that I do not like Mediterranean food.
Okay, sure. But what I'm saying is Chinese buffets always suck.
Nick, have you been to Peace Bakery?
No.
You should go there and try it out.
But
They have really good Mediterranean.
Jack
Wait,
Allen's
yes.
brunch and Moonshine's
Jack-
brunch
I went there.
Yeah,
are
once.
like very fucking.
They're
good
very
buffets.
good, yeah.
All right, we do need a.
Yeah, I guess. So.
Let's pull this back in. I have one more game I want to
Well,
talk about.
that just clearly tells us we have the opportunity to open a good Chinese buffet. Obviously, price it around $15,
Because one of us is really good at
$16.
cooking Chinese food.
How hard is it? You should get some broccoli, some beef, put a little MSG on there.
Just sprinkle the MSG on there?
Sure. That's how MSG works, Nick.
It's
Jesus.
It's like
umami.
sprinkling glorious goodness.
It's like sprinkling flavor onto it.
Yes.
Yes, that's literally what MSG is.
I would love to try Chinese food without MSG and then try it with MSG.
You've been
Just-
trying it your whole
Nick,
life.
it's basically like trying food and then putting a little bit of salt on it and then trying it again.
Damn.
It's the same concept.
Serious guys in chat. Time for 4 white guys to start a Chinese restaurant. It wouldn't be the first time, I'm pretty sure. All right. I have one game I want to talk about. And I'm gonna let this, because we don't have a lot of impressions this week. I feel like this would be a nice way to round out the first segment. I'm gonna talk about this game a little bit because it kind of rolls into a news topic, and we'll talk about that, and then we'll take a break.
Can I talk about my game real quick then?
Wait, you had a game?
Yeah, just real quick. Like 30 seconds.
Okay, go.
30 seconds.
Go.
I started playing Yakuza 6
Yeah.
because Chris Davis lent it to me. I'm about 2 hours in, so I've actually moved the character around for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Holy shit, this game is very slow to start. I mean, don't get me wrong, it hits you heavy with fucking story. Like, bam, bam, here's all these characters, hope you remember them, like, oh shit.
Doesn't really say, hope you remember them. I mean, it sets them up just fine.
I know, I'm just saying, it just introduces you to a shit ton of people if you haven't played every Yakuza game in the past.
Yeah.
But I am enjoying it so far, and I'm hoping to play it more, but probably not since State of Decay 2 is coming out.
Gotcha.
So we'll
and
see
you
what happens.
did also, like myself, finish God of War.
I did finish God of War, yes, that is accurate.
Would you like to? Hey, no, we'll talk about that.
Well,
later.
yeah,
we'll
we'll
talk
talk
about that later. Anyways, the game I want to talk about kind of leads nicely into a news topic, so I'm going to start with this. Rage. I picked up the original.
Oh, thank God.
Rage.
I thought you were gonna say like Red Dead or some shit again.
No, I have been playing Red Dead.
I know. I just.
Why would you talk about that on the show?
We've talked about Red Dead a million times.
I know.
Rage, guys.
You
I
said
did
something old. So
I decided to do some homework.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Homework, man. I'm proud of you.
Because fucking so after last week we talked about this. It was part of the Walmart leak, which is kind of what has the world on fire right now. Because everyone's like, now all those things that the Walmart leaked seem like they could very well be true, and there's some exciting things there. But so I went and picked up Rage.
The most far-fetched thing is true, so it's all true.
I am playing this on PC. I picked it up on PC
That's
because
impressive.
couldn't find a.
I'm proud of you there too.
But this game is not like clear of all problems. There's probably some stuff I could do to like improve it a little bit, but like audio wise, like,
correct last game.
yeah. Let me just say, like audio wise, this game is kind of fucked.
How
Like
so?
when you're driving around in like a buggy, like half the time it's not making any noise. It's bizarre.
Ooh.
We have issues.
Sounds like you got a bug there.
Yeah, but
You
like
can
tell
work
me
on
how to
it.
fix the bug. Everything else in the game runs smooth as butter. Like considering the age of the game or whatever that I'm playing.
Yeah.
Like
this isn't
and I have like
bad.
the settings, like the visual settings turned all the way up. Like everything's running smoothly. It's just the audio just is not working half the time. And like when I'm running, like you don't hear your footprints, and then he starts breathing heavily. It's like, I'm like, this is really annoying.
They call it a buggy for a reason.
Oh, it is pretty buggy.
Anyway.
Oh my god. Anyways, so Bethesda last week, obviously, or earlier this week, confirmed the existence of Rage 2.
Yep.
They kind of leaned into the skid with the whole leak, the Walmart leak. I don't know if that really kind of pushed their announcement up ahead of schedule, but like they released a trailer on Monday, and then Tuesday they had the gameplay trailer debut, which I think looked promising. It's being developed by Avalanche Games in partnership with id. I don't know how the work division is happening there. I would assume
I think
Avalanche is kind of handling the open
Avalanche
world
is
stuff.
the lead, I think.
Yeah,
I think-
Avalanche is the lead, and it is supporting, like, giving most of the creative control to them.
Yeah, but like
They're
I also
providing
have
the engine
but I have
and,
a
like,
feeling like
everything
the only
else.
reason they're even bothering to like name drop id is because they might be involved in like the shooting mechanics, because
Well, that's
Avalanche,
what people are hoping.
yeah, because
Yeah.
Avalanche has never really been known for their shooting mechanics, whatnot, and I think that's kind of
They're known for their open world.
that's kind of the high point. And obviously, it's coming off of Doom 2016, and that game felt really nice when it comes to shooters. Avalanche, I think they did Mad Max most recently, and Just Cause, obviously. I obviously have been a very big supporter of Mad Max. I love that game to death, so I'm very excited.
You have a Mad Max the game
tattoo? I do. Yeah, right across my ass.
Yeah.
Believe it or
Almost
not.
like above it, or like just
No, like
across,
across
the
the
crack?
cheeks.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like the left one is mad.
I thought
right
it
one
was
is
going
Max.
into the butthole.
I have the word. I have the word "the game" tattooed around the butthole.
Oh, I thought it was like Thunderdome.
Mad Max.
2 men enter.
Oh my god, no, no!
Mad Max is quickly becoming the new singularity, though.
But like,
Which is fine. I mean, it's good to have your game to champion.
that
God
is
knows I have
that
those.
is like I legitimately think Mad Max is probably one of the most underrated games of this generation. I think that game is fantastic. That's just my personal opinion. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately. I've heard other people talking about it and supporting it, so that's great. The point is, I'm excited because Avalanche is involved, and I love Mad Max. Rage 2 is going to be open world. Rage 1, however, which is what I'm playing and should be talking about.
It's just a victim of the post-Witcher 3 world, I think.
Maybe,
That's
but like,
part of it.
so I've played a fair amount of like linear shooters in my day.
Yeah.
This game, I don't know what it is. Like, first of all, maybe it's because I'm coming off of like some really like well presented like stories and whatnot off like some of the more recent games that I've been playing.
Yeah.
Especially, I literally came off of God of War, jumped into this.
I mean, this game is pretty old at this point, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
it came
When
out-
did this game come
7
out? 2011, 2012?
20, no, it was like I think
It's like 7 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah.
What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
No, that makes sense. I said 2011.
Yeah, that would be
So
yeah.
7 years,
Seven,
yeah.
7 or 8
7 years is a long fucking time.
And on,
Yeah.
This was
especially
not. This was
That's
not
a console
PS4
generation.
game.
and
Yeah.
especially after seeing like what they did with Doom, it's kind of hard to like playing this. It's really I can already tell. So I'm gonna go ahead and spoil this right now. I'm like done with this game.
Oh.
Not gonna finish
What?
this.
Are you playing with the mouse?
Wait, whoa, why?
No.
Whoa. Explain yourself.
I'm not playing with a mouse and keyboard. I'm playing with a controller. But like that really is not like the problem.
I mean, that might be part of it.
I mean, it might be part of the problem. I mean, if you want, I'll
This
switch
is
and try
it,
it.
man. This is John Carmack made this.
I will say this. I think the world is it's got some nice skyboxes and the guns feel pretty nice.
Mega textures.
Mega textures, sure, but man, like there's something about the way this game is presented that is just rough as fuck. Like it kind of has the same conceit as like Fallout, right?
Mm-hmm.
An asteroid hits the planet. They cryogenically like freeze a bunch of people and say, "We're gonna wake you up in like however many years so that you can kind of carry on."
The Ark Project.
Yeah, it's one of the we see it in a lot of games.
Yeah.
They do this. You stumble out of your vault, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it, and like a dude pulls up in a buggy. He's like, "Get in!" and then gets in the car, takes you to like his bunker, and then gets out and is like immediately starts giving you orders. Like,
Well,
I need you to go clean up these, clean up this base camp, or whatever, to get this.
First
part
off,
for
that
me.
dude was John Goodman, okay?
Really?
Yeah.
Was he John Goodman?
That was John Goodman.
Actually, now that you say that, I can totally picture John.
Also,
I'm not like harping on his like voice acting. I'm talking about like
Did
like,
you try?
they don't ease it into it at all to the almost point. It's like, why even put a story in it if you're not even going to like try and pace
This
it?
is-
Oh
right?
no,
id.
they do that from the very beginning. Did you try walking away from the buggy when he shot the bandit?
No, of course not. Why would I?
If you would have done that, he would have shot and killed you to hide the fact that he killed the bandits to save you.
Wait, what is that? Wait, what do you? Wait, I don't follow. What do you mean?
Because his clan,
It's
his
lore,
family,
Nick, it's
part of the lore is that he's always stayed neutral when it comes to bandits or the authority.
So
in this
first of all,
world.
I haven't gotten. I've only, like I said, I've only played like 2 hours. of this
So the
game.
first thing he does is send you out to kill the bandits that tried to kill you to prevent his family from
and I'm
getting
not
hurt.
saying there's not lore there. I'm just saying it's very off-putting because you literally wake up from like 100-year sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You walk outside. It does the whole Fallout like blinding sun thing. You get
Yeah.
into this buggy. This guy takes you to this like broken down gas station, and then he immediately starts giving you orders to like go out and kill people. it's just like very disjointed. I'm not a big fan of the story and like how it's being presented. That's neither here nor there. I also just, like I said, there's lots of like visual and audio bugs that are kind of annoying. I will say the things that I am enjoying, which I think are things that are going to improve on dramatically in Rage 2, aside from the fact that I think the world is just going to be immensely more interesting because it'll be open and open world. That, by the way, that was awesome.
That was cool.
That was
The animations in
Can
this
I ask you a
fucking
question,
game.
Nick?
Yeah.
How come you keep looking down your like your little like telescope?
That is when you hold left
That's
trigger to
part
like
of the
look down
mouse.
the sights. That is it. Like he holds up like a fucking
wow.
Yeah.
eyeglass and then shoots. It's really
Like the
That-
the weapon
that
design in
doesn't
this
seem
game is so
accurate.
cool.
and also like the fact that he does that. He's literally holding up like an eye. What do you call it?
Spyglass.
Spyglass.
Yeah.
He's
A
holding up a
monocle?
spyglass. The like because of the nature of like pulling that big hunking thing up to your eyeball to look through it, it's just the animation is naturally a little bit slower. Like it makes going into like iron sights like really kind of bothersome. It kind of annoys me. It just takes like a fraction of a second too long, which it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're in the middle, when you're being shot at, it can seem like forever.
Well,
Um,
here's what I'll say, Nick. I will not allow you to stop playing this game until
gonna
you've
force
gone to
you.
the city and you've experienced the
All right.
mutants.
Oh shit!
You
You're
got to
gonna die.
experience the mutants first before you stop.
Okay, I
'Cause
mean
that's
wait,
probably one of the best parts of the game.
mutants. What do you mean? I mean, I've run into some mutants.
You've run into some mutants.
Okay.
You haven't run into their hive.
Now here's the thing. Like
Super mutant.
I feel the one thing I kind of taken away from this thing, from my time with Rage so far, is that I think the world has potential. I think the universe has potential. I think it needs some serious personality, which I think is what Avalanche seems like they're trying to inject into it. The trailer they showed for Rage 2 certainly seems like it has way more personality than this game
Why
does.
are we so sure that Avalanche can provide personality?
I mean, I'm just saying based on what we've seen, it looks like it has
That's true.
way more personality than this game.
I mean, yeah.
Like just like the tone of the whole thing, like the color palette they've
There's the
introduced
lady
to
with
it.
the shotgun shell birds.
Sure, I mean, yes,
Flipping, bird flipping.
they're very obviously going for like they're kind of a mix of like
Borderlands.
Bulletstorm, Borderlands kind of
Yeah.
like tone to it.
Yeah.
Which I think it is nothing but a good thing for this game because I think
Sure.
I think the world is very drab and does not have a lot of personality. I'm enjoying the way the guns feel. I think the guns have a nice weight to them, but like it's
You
still
just got the shotgun in this.
it's like
version.
the
That's one of the best weapons.
It's like you can tell it's kind of like the early stages of like what eventually led to things like Doom. 'Cause I think Doom's the way guns feel in Doom 2016 is amazing. I think the game feels beautiful,
Well,
and like this is I think this is kind of like the early stepping stones towards getting to that point. The guns feel nice.
so was Doom.
I think like the iconic thing for Rage is I guess has always been like that like the
Boomerang.
weird
Yeah.
triple boomerang thing that you
Yeah.
throw. And I'll be
Wing
honest,
stick.
yeah, they call them boomsticks.
Wing stick.
Krill.
Wing sticks. They are very fun. Like I was like I didn't expect it to be very much fun when I was doing the tutorial, but then when I actually threw it at a dude and like hit him in the face, I was like, that was pretty satisfying. I can get used to this. And it seems like those are back in Rage 2. I think it's a very identifiable thing.
Yep.
But I don't know. Fine. I will keep going until I hit the city. How long do I have to do? How long?
Oh, you'll hit Wellspring pretty fast. And then
Wellspring?
Yeah, that's like the mini town that you meet, where it's just it's a neutral zone, and
Gotcha.
then they send you on a mission to the city.
I was actually going to record more footage, like different footage than this, because this is pretty early today before I came here. And like the last thing I did was like, I need you to go kill these snipers so I can get into this building to like get this part for your buggy. And I pull out of his gas station thing. I turn left. I go around a corner. Immediately get like just pummeled with rocket launchers.
Wow.
And like I was trying to find like I had to reload, and I was trying to find a spot where I can get because he gives you a sniper rifle. I was gonna try and like get a good point of view, right? And I went and I was like, I come up to this rock, this big boulder, and I was like, I know where they are. I'm gonna kind of just poke my head out really, really just a little bit so I can kind of like start, sniping them.
Yeah.
I poke my head out. They immediately start shooting me. They're like fucking 200 yards away.
You got fragged.
It's ridiculous.
They made you their bitch.
Did
I
it
think
make
there's
you
just-
feel, Nick? Did it make you feel rage?
Suck it down.
Yeah. Okay, so I will keep playing until I get to this point Chris Davis was talking about. I'll report back next week. I'm
Okay,
just
good.
saying I wanted to play this to kind of get a point of comparison going into Rage 2. Rage has never really been something I've been super excited about, but
You know what Rage needed? John Romero.
Well,
I was gonna say the reason I am legit excited for Rage 2 is one, because obviously Avalanche. Two, because just in general I think Bethesda has made some great decisions with their IP lately, and they've proven several times over that they don't like to abandon IP. Like, they made a Prey game, even though it had nothing to do with the original Prey. They made a game, so like there's nothing stopping them from like totally reinventing a series, as long as they can use the same name.
Well, I mean, it still looks like
Rage,
a shooter where you're shooting mutants and stuff.
I think
they're just pink now.
But dude, the biggest limitation of this game right here is that like this weird semi-open. This game is not like open. I mean, I guess it's kind of open. Like it's just like little tiny spaces that are kind of like interconnected with these weird
games.
Yeah, it's like this. First of all, I honestly I also want to give Rage a little bit of a break because this was the first game that was made with id Tech 5, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, I think that's just, it suffers from like the very early onset of like trying to learn a new engine to build with. So it's very limiting. The world does not feel very big. It does not feel very open. It doesn't give you a lot of freedom. It's just, I don't know. The thought of like expanding this world into like something much more open, I think has a lot of potential. I am very excited for Rage 2, but a lot of that, like I said, is because of the fact that they did
We're
things.
going to talk about Rage 2 later, or is this?
Well, this is that's what I said.
Are we kind of?
This is us talking about Rage 2. If
Okay.
you wanna, that's why I kind of mentioned the news topic at the beginning. Like,
that makes sense.
Because they've done they've done right by Dishonored. They've done right by Prey. They've done right by help me out here. Why am
Evil Within?
Doom, Evil Within.
Yeah.
Like, they've made some great fucking games.
But-
And this
but
was
it's-
fucking 8 years ago. So like,
But like, do we think that Rage 2 is Bethesda's like big thing at E3?
dude, no, I don't think so. Because if it was, they wouldn't have. They wouldn't.
No,
have.
I would say not.
Also, people seem to have a lot of confidence in Avalanche right now, even though
You know
Mad
why?
Max was divisive and Just Cause 3 was even more divisive.
Was it divisive, or just not a lot of people play it?
What?
Mad Max. I don't feel like a lot of people gave it a chance.
No, it was divisive. There's reviews out there from critics. People played it.
Yeah, yes.
You know,
Everyone that I've talked to that like actually played the game, that obviously not critics, but like people that have just played the game,
I
tend to say good things about it, and I don't know.
I think
I
that
heard a lot of stuff about kind of like really wrote like objective-based open world.
One of the other. Well, first of all, what does it say about Just Cause 4, which is rumored to be?
Ubisoftification was a word that was thrown around a lot.
Sure, but like, what open world game isn't Ubisoft? Like, it's just like if you do. I feel like so much of that divisiveness comes from the fact that there are two camps of people. There are people who hate the way what Ubisoft has done to open world game design, and people who like it. And if any game comes out and has any hint of Ubisoftification, it just like automatically gets
some
dumped.
are a little more uninspired than others, and I think people kind of put this in a uninspired take on that.
But like
open world.
But I think
style.
the open world of Mad Max is like the least important part of that game. The important part of that game is the fucking
no one's
car
asking
combat.
you to defend it. We know you like. All I'm saying is that it was divisive. People were saying these things.
Sure.
That's all I'm saying. So I like Avalanche because I think Just Cause 2 was an amazing game when it came out, and I like Renegade Ops, but Avalanche is not like, they still have stuff left to prove, I think. So
Sure.
I don't think it's a sure thing because they're working on it. All of a sudden, it's like, well, id's not working on it.
But like
Avalanche.
But how much success has it had
it's-
lately? Aside from like Doom is like the first thing. Doom surprised people
But see,
because it managed to make a good
Doom
game
is
again.
what made the announcement or the rumor of Rage 2 somewhat exciting, because you're like, oh, this is Rage from New id.
Dude.
What could that be?
Dude.
And now all of a sudden it's like Avalanche, and you're like, well,
But we all know why that is, though.
because
Because
they're
it's
working-
making Doom too.
Yeah, no, of
Like-
course,
like-
I get that, but I'm saying,
I think people would have immediately been upset if they realized that we got Rage 2 instead of Doom 2.
well, no, not
But
really.
now we're getting
because
both.
I'm not like clamoring to get to Doom 2 right away. I did like Doom 2016, but like I'm afraid that Doom 2 might just kind of be more of that. That's why I'm not clamoring about to getting it right away. But whatever. What are we even talking about? I think
All I'm saying is, like, first of all, a major
it's
component
not just
of
that
Rage.
it's Avalanche. It's that Rage 2 kind of looks like Mad Max. I mean, it is a similar universe. It is a similar
That is true.
things, and they just did Mad Max, and
But the other thing is, a major component of Rage was the car combat. but it was felt very limited because the world was not open. It was just it was you know like
car combat was limited to like small arenas.
Yeah,
I know.
And I've said this many times about Mad Max. Like the car combat is what made me love that game.
Sure,
to death.
Sure. No, I'm saying like you're excited because you really like Mad Max.
Sure.
But the people that don't really like Mad Max, Rage 2 seems like it could just be a second Mad Max with, you know, albeit better combat.
But it does have involvement in it.
Yeah, exactly.
It will have
exactly.
some
So honestly, that combination could be kind of exciting.
And Bethesda has a hand in what happens in this project. So
jankiness.
But like how many?
No, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
like
you
a
say
lovable
that
jankiness.
jokingly, but like
Lovable jankiness is true.
But like a lot of the recent games have had some jank, obviously, but like for the most part they've been very polished games. Like I think Prey, Dishonored 2,
Sure,
Evil Within 2, Doom.
I don't think Bethesda
polished.
as a publisher had much.
Sure, I'm saying they don't have a lot of involvement.
This is
Like,
Avalanche. This is id. That could be a good combination because I feel like what Avalanche has been bad at, I think maybe id's good at. So
sure,
yeah.
It'll be an interesting combination for sure.
I'm ready to see it.
But to answer your question about what like the fact that they announced this so far ahead of E3, and we have no idea what else Bethesda. They've said they're going to have a long press conference. They've already gotten this one out of the way. So like they'll show. I guarantee they will spend like 10 minutes showing like a gameplay demonstration of this.
Oh yeah,
probably.
And this will be hands-on on the floor. I'm almost positive. But outside of this, there's nothing confirmed from Bethesda. It could be anything. I mean, a lot of people are expecting, like we talked about last week, you know, Elder Scrolls, Doom 2, any number of things. Like nobody knows, and like
I think because of Rage, I don't think it's time for Doom 2. Just because
I think it's a little early for
shooter
Doom 2.
I think it probably is a little too early, and maybe that's why they decided to show this. But
I don't think it's too early for Doom 2.
I mean, it could be 2 years later. I mean, right?
I don't think it's too early. I think it might be too early.
By the time it
just
comes
a
out,
little
it'll be
shooter
2019. which
Exactly,
would be
that's what I'm
almost 3
saying.
years
I
later.
do not think it's too early for us to hear about the new Doom.
And also, if they're going to do the announcement, they might do it at QuakeCon.
Like a
instead.
tease. Maybe.
That is true.
Yeah.
But like, think about this: they've shown
is
Rage
Arcane
2.
working on?
If they don't show Doom 2 at E3, they've got a whole another like 40 minutes of a press conference to fill with other stuff that we have no fucking idea.
No, we have an idea. They'll show the final version of Quake Champions. They'll show Elder Scrolls Online. They'll show off a new mobile game they have.
Yeah, the new mobile game.
And then it's going to be Starfield.
Okay, first,
Okay.
I
Maybe, hopefully, but
maybe, but
stop
like I
saying
still
it like
think
that's a
I still
sure
think
fucking
you're
thing.
I still think there's like 2 or 3 things that surprises that could be there that like we're not even thinking
Well,
about.
what is the Dishonored team working on? Maybe they could tease that.
Dude, what the fuck is?
I doubt it's a new Dishonored.
No, definitely not. But anyways,
Well,
all I'm
are you
saying
talking
is
about Arcane
Bethesda
Leon,
is exciting.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
talked
of
about
course.
like I said, we talked a lot about E3 last week. If anyone's watching, listening right now, and did not catch our show last week, I urge you to go check it out. We talked about 3 hours for like E3 predictions. So, and we'll talk more about E3 in the second segment. We have a few more news topics related to E3, but there's a lot of fucking E3 conversations going on right now. So, and like I said earlier, if you're not in our Discord, we have an E3 2018 Discord channel in there now. A lot of conversations happening. So check that out. Now we need to take a break. I have to take a bathroom break. I have to pee so bad. When we come back, well, actually,
No wonder you were so desperate to end the conversation.
Oh my god. Stay tuned if you're watching us live. Brad brought a treat.
A treat.
Is there a beer left? Because I finished my beer.
There's a beer. There's. There's.
Brad brought. Tell him, Brad. What'd you bring?
Gustav's Dutch Licorice Double Salt Classic Salt Licorice.
We're gonna try these during the break.
Is it hard licorice or soft licorice?
It's hard.
Oh,
fuck.
It is hard AF.
You gotta suck on it.
this is gonna suck.
Suck that big black licorice.
So hang out. We're gonna try these during the break. There might be some throwing up. I don't know. Can't promise anything. And when we come back, we have like 3 or 4 other big news topics, and of course, we'll answer a bunch of questions from our supporters on Patreon that we did not get around to last week because we went a little long. But yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this quick break. Let's do this. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. We've got some news topics to go over. It's we're leading up to E3 in under a month now. Ooh. So shit's starting to really pick up. A lot of stuff has happened in the last week. So, Chris Davis, I'm going to let you just pick a news topic, and we're going to go with it. We already covered Rage 2, so...
You want to focus on E3 stuff, or you want to...
Yeah, I guess...
Surprise us.
Pick E3 stuff. Although I think anything that kind of gets announced right now is like E3 related.
Basically.
Okay, how about that?
I feel like, okay, this is not directly E3 related, but I feel like the timing kind of just suggests that they want to be part of the conversation.
It's a battle royale game.
What?
No, it's
Stalker
worse.
2. Stalker 2, which, correct me if I'm wrong, was announced a long time ago and then it's quietly canceled, and now it's re-announced.
Oh, it wasn't quietly canceled.
It has a
Loudly
history.
canceled?
Very loudly canceled.
Okay. Stalker 2 has been re-announced for re-release. Or sorry,
For release.
has been re-announced for release in 2021. Now, personally, I don't have any history with the Stalker franchise.
You're missing out.
I know it's a game I've always kind of wanted to play, but here's what I hear, Chris Davis. I know you know what I'm going to say, because I saw this in Discord earlier. People were torturing you with it. There's rumors this game is like an online game.
Kill me.
Rumors.
Yeah.
This is all rumors. Take it all with a grain of salt. Stalker 2.
That's not Stalker.
All we know is Stalker 2 exists in some
But
form.
maybe
That's Servarium.
100 stalkers dropped onto a map.
But maybe it'll be like what's that game, Slender Man, where you're stalking.
My question for you, Chris Davis, you're obviously the person in the room who I think who has the most experience with Stalker.
Yeah.
My question for
Brad's
you
played
is,
it.
yeah, but like, you know, this
Brad appreciates
this
it. He
game
knows
is
what
like
I'm
loosely-
talking about.
This is like Stalker has been on my backlog for fucking ever.
it's been on mine forever too. But it's also a game that's very loosely related to, not related, but like people associate it commonly with like Metro, right?
Yes.
Well, that's because half the development team from the original Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl
Went to
left and formed 4A Games, which made Metro 2033.
They're not really
So
like Metro games.
what I'm
so.
saying is, you love Metro to death, rightfully
Yes.
so. It's a great series. Do we know anything yet about whether the studio working on the new Stalker 2 is comprised at all of people who worked
We
on the
have
original
no
Stalker?
idea as to the team
Well,
composition.
Nick,
we don't know who they
here's
are.
the thing. They announced a game that's coming out in 3 years.
Yeah.
With a
To-
web page that says Stalker
to
2
me,
coming 2021.
That sounds like they announced the concept for a game.
You know what this sounds like to
I
me?
doubt they've done anything for
Agent. Sounds like
yeah.
Agent.
So
it's a website with a logo.
the thing about the news today, because this was announced several days ago, but the big news today about it is there's rumors of an interview going on with Sergei Grigorovich, who is the founder and owner of CSG Game World. They're the developer. Supposedly, he's pitching it as a online-only title with just player interactions, no actual NPC AI in the game, no factions to speak of. It's just an online thing set in Chernobyl, in Pripyat, and that's it.
That sounds awful. I'm sorry.
Well, it could be like
Personally.
a Rust, or it could be like a
They-
PUBG.
According to the interview, he says that the engine is not complete. He hopes to have it finished by the time this console generation is done.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, first
To
of all,
have the engine done?
yeah.
Yeah.
First of all,
Jesus.
this is a situation. Obviously, like I said, this is all rumor and speculation right now. None of it's confirmed. This is
Yeah. all
take all this
hearsay.
with a major grain of salt.
Take all
but
this with a double licorice, whatever those things were called.
taking them with a grain of ammonium chloride. Wait, was it ammonium chloride?
Yes.
Yes.
That's not okay. Anyways, making an online game like that, like it's so like making a pure online game with no NPC interactions to speak of at all in the game and slapping the word Stalker 2 on it does not make a sequel to the original Stalker. I
No,
don't
it
even
does
know.
not.
Like that to me that seems like criminal.
Stalker is
That's like
a incredibly complex game of NPC systems and factions and AI and horror elements and survival mechanics. Like, there's a lot that goes into a fucking Stalker game, and everything that's been speculated and rumored to be about, according to this interview, is the exact opposite direction of what Stalker is.
You know what else this sounds like to me? Beyond Good and Evil 2. Like, not the exact same, but like taking like something that is completely different than the original concept, adding all kinds of like online flourishes and like
Jazz.
make like to the point where it's unrecognizable practically. Like that's so bizarre.
But again, according to the interview, this is not designed to be a stalker game. It's a game designed to make money.
Yeah.
So the idea is that there's permadeath in this experience. This online multiplayer shooter has permadeath in it. And when your set values of 3 characters die, you can use in-game currency to get a new character, which you can buy with real money.
Why don't you just...
So,
What?
for now, we should shelve it because we don't know anything
This
specifically
is all...
yet. But
yeah.
If this is
if
even
any of this is
remotely true,
confirmed,
kill me.
yeah, this sounds awful. I was actually kind of excited because I was like, I feel like Stalker. I've heard so many great things about Stalker, and it's this game I've always kind of wanted to play. But like, if they released a new one, I'd be like, I'll just play the new one. But like, obviously, that's not going to be the case if this is what it's sounding like.
If you want to have a good experience, just play Stalker Call of Pripyat.
Does it
That was
hold
the
up?
last one that came out.
Does it hold up?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Didn't
It's
Chris Davis
complicated.
play that a couple years ago on the feed?
I did.
Yeah,
Or
I've
Brad,
played
I
it.
know
Does
Brad
it?
did.
I guess my question is like, is playing Stalker like the original Stalker these days, like going back and playing like I don't know, the original Half-Life? I'm thinking I don't know how
I
well
mean,
Half-Life
not
holds
really.
up.
No, I mean the
Half-Life
gameplay
holds up.
isn't as refined as what you would expect today. But like the systems and the mechanics of the NPCs and the factions, like that makes up for it.
Okay.
It's like playing like Fallout 3 or something.
Fallout 3?
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that game.
Stalker's not old.
Isn't it? I thought it came out in like 2007 or something.
The original Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl, came out in 2007.
3 came out in 2008.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
it's just
shit.
kinda like-
Yeah.
I mean, I
That's not bad.
I thought you were thinking of like late 90s, early 2000s.
No. I mean, like in my head though, to me, I remember back in the day seeing Stalker footage when I was younger and thinking like, "Oh my god, that looks amazing." But nowadays, it has, obviously in my head it hasn't aged. So like, when I'm picturing it, I picture like System Shock style, like visual style and everything.
and I tell you
Shock
what,
1?
yeah.
No.
Like, but it's been a while. I don't know. Like I'm saying, I haven't looked at it at all. So
And the thing about this game is this series is that it has a really strong modding community, and to get the ultimate experience out of it, just download a mod that's the complete mod. There's something called the Stalker Complete mod for each
Yeah.
game, and it refines the visuals, it refines some of the minor gameplay mechanics, but it keeps it mostly all the same, just makes it prettier.
it's kind of like DS Fix.
And yeah, kind of like DS Fix, but I mean,
like-
once you so in Clear Sky, which was the second game, which basically was
I
kind of
didn't
like
even know
an
there was more
expansion.
than one.
There was 3. There was Shadow of Chernobyl, Clear Sky, and Call of Pripyat.
But were they like
You don't need
expansions?
to play Clear Sky.
You don't need Clear.
So just
I
play
think Clear Sky is the
Call of
weakest of the
Pripyat is the one I need to play.
three. Call of Pripyat's the best.
Stalker.
The thing about it is
Shadow
that
of
in Clear Sky and in Call of Pripyat, they introduced a mechanic called an emission event, in which every
Nocturnal
day.
emission event.
Not exactly.
They don't always come at night.
In the day and night cycle, there's an event that happens in which there's an eruption of radiation from the Chernobyl power plant.
Okay.
And you get this radio warning of this emission event coming to your area. And it's a wave of radiation, and you have to seek shelter. You have to find some place safe on the map.
Something
and you may have
rubber.
to fight NPCs for the safety. You'll see NPCs running for safety too. They're concerned about it too.
Is the game open?
It would, yeah. It's,
Call
all
of
the games are open
Pripyat
world.
is more so.
But when the storm hits and you watch like what's outside and the visual, just the sky lighting on fire and everything you see, it's fucking incredible.
Maybe I'll bump that up my list. I would like to try that series, but
We didn't even get.
But this
into
is
the
also
artifact.
very-
let's move on to the next.
this is also
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
depressing
Yeah, I
news.
agree.
Let's move on to the next news topic. There's other things worth discussing.
Let's get the rest of the depressing stuff out of the way. How about this?
Oh yeah, this is not E3 related. That's right. So this past week, in a kind of a shocking move. So we talked about Radical Heights a few weeks ago, which was in development at Boss Key Games with Cliff Bleszinski.
It
Following
had potential.
It had potential, and it was following the kind of like disastrous situation involving lawbreakers.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out this week, Boss Key Games has closed its doors.
Yep.
Cliff Bleszinski has gone into kind of a tailspin. I don't know. He basically said he's going on hiatus, and then went on like a tweet binge where he was like showing concept art for projects that
kind of a dick move.
Yeah,
that
not
didn't
come
get
to
funded.
pass. Yeah.
It almost seems like he's kind of, I mean, maybe rightfully so. He's probably pretty upset about this whole situation.
Yeah, I would be.
He seems very, maybe kind of like bitter, like this is the shit that could have been. It's not going to be happening
Like,
now.
listen up, fuckers.
It almost seems
this is what you could have had.
It almost seems like, kind of like this is y'all's fault.
Yeah, no,
like this
that's
shit
what
isn't getting made.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that. It is kind of sad. Like, I think Lawbreakers was, not really my kind of game. It obviously didn't speak to
Nick, it was not a lot of people.
It didn't speak to a lot of
Yeah.
people. But like, it's not like I didn't want to see Cliff Bleszinski stop making games
Or his team.
or his team stop
Yeah.
making it sucks. Like, all these people are kind of out of a job. Like, the game that they were making is
they just
the game
kinda
that we
wanted to hear
played is
what
not.
Crispy would have to say on this news topic, because we talked about this weeks ago, and he was more,
I mean,
anti Cliffy B, because Cliffy B kind of has a mouth, and he's talked shit about like Overwatch or something.
I mean, that's always been kind of the debate
that's part of his
surrounding.
personality. That's what
That's
he
the
is.
like.
yeah, but
he's a
the
character.
question is, okay, well, if you're a cocky ass, does that mean you deserve failure? I don't know.
I mean, no. I mean,
Some
the
people
studio,
think
they
so.
devoted a lot of time to developing a shooter in a genre that's not popular anymore, developing a new IP that you if you're going to stay in that arena
It's a challenge
shooter
anyways.
genre, you have to have that name brand and recognition.
Well, to an extent, yeah. I mean, honestly, you just need the gimmick.
Yeah.
You need the hook. You need the catch. You
What
need
was
There,
the-
there was the gimmick.
What was the gimmick of Lawbreakers?
Gravity.
Gravity.
Gravity
Oh,
was
okay.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, you had like bubbles of like anti-gravity.
Yeah.
And you can use your weapon to like propel you through it. You could shoot behind yourself.
Yeah.
Sadly,
But like this thing wasn't a weird thing for Cliffy B to work on. I mean, he worked on Unreal back in the day. That's
no.
he
Yeah.
just wanted to make an arena shooter.
It kind of sucks. I mean, sadly, like some of the projects he was showing on Twitter and stuff looked pretty cool. I think the most prominent one I think is getting a lot of attention is called Dragonflies.
I don't see that.
That
and
was
it's
one of
like
them?
there's concept art of like these like crazy elaborate looking like samurai ninja characters that you fly around, like you get on dragons and like battle it out in the skies.
Yeah.
Like but it was a multiplayer game. Like all these projects were multiplayer focused.
So
for
it was
the
like
most part.
Joust.
I think it had more in I think it was like it looked very like scale boundy, but like with the
And there was
with
also
the multiplayer spin on it.
There was also one called Dog Walkers, which
Yeah,
was about
which-
giant mechs.
Yeah, it looked very like it almost looked like Metal Gear like
little in a
style
way,
like
yeah.
mechs that I don't know. It was weird.
But the thing, if you look at these pitches, it feels like none of them were prototyped. None of them got past like the initial concept.
Well, no, I'm pretty
sketch.
sure they were banking pretty heavily on like Lawbreakers being successful, and then because those projects looked like they required much more. It looked like they required more. There was like more complexity to them. Like it would require more financing, more artists involved, more technological advances as far as like the engine goes, and those kind of, I think they were banking on Lawbreakers being more of a success, so they could fund projects like Dragonflies, which was probably going to be like more of like a AAA like multiplayer shooter, or not shooter, but like multiplayer arena based game. I don't know. It's kind of sad these projects never get to see the light of day. I don't know. It sucks. There's really not much more to say. Cliffy B. I just saw Cliffy B today. He retweeted his own tweet from 2014 where he
Nice.
announced him coming back from developing, like, from being on hiatus and saying, "Don't call it a comeback." And he like retweeted his own tweet saying like, "Too soon."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that was only like 4 years ago. That sucks.
I really hope somebody buys up Radical Heights and just continues it. Like shuts it
I mean,
down
like,
for
the
about a
project-
year and a
that-
half.
They're trying
Complete
to do
the
that.
scenario and then bring it back out.
But there was so little work already done on it at that point. I don't even know if it's like worth picking it up or just starting something
I mean,
from scratch.
but the basic concept of the game is good enough to where you could just stretch it and turn it into something really cool.
Well, I'm
Potentially, yeah.
guessing not enough people were playing.
Well, it was a free-to-play game that wasn't that rewarding.
He did
and
say
they
the
weren't updating it.
servers for Radical Heights are staying up for a little while, but then
Yeah.
it sounds like they're going to be closed down. And I guess if nothing comes of this, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Cliffy B. Like, does this mean he's done making games, or is he going to go on another couple year hiatus, then come back and like suddenly be working with like Microsoft again or something? I don't know.
I want Unreal to buy Boss Key.
Well,
I don't
can't.
think
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't think Boss
I don't
or
think
Epic.
Epic
Epic.
wants Boss Key.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's more like small key right now.
It's interesting. It's sad. I hope all those people who are out of a job. I mean, it happens all the time, but I hope they land on their
Jaffe's
feet.
team just a couple months ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What else is in the news?
All right, now we can get on to news that's
Let's
actually
get to the better stuff.
actually related to E3, non-sad news.
How about we go to this one?
Okay, this is
this not
okay. Maybe this isn't E3 related. I lied. None of these are E3 related.
God damn it, Nick.
It's kind of loosely E3 related because.
But is this even going to be at Sony's press conference? Given the
No,
other
I don't
news?
think it is. I don't think it
Probably
is.
not.
For our listeners, we're talking about...
Game Informer's doing a month of coverage on Days Gone, right? Is you know that game, right?
Yeah,
that Zambi
Brad,
video
Brad
game.
have you heard of this?
yeah, I've heard of it.
Where'd they go, Brad?
What
Look
are
at
you- What are you getting at?
Look at that
Nick?
smile. He wants to say.
What are you getting at?
Where'd it go, Brad? Where did it go?
I'm not smiling, Nick.
Damn it! He's not going to do it. Anyways,
Where'd the audience for this game go?
Days Gone. I'm sorry.
So Game Informer debuts
Game
over
Informer's
an
doing a
hour
month of coverage on
of
Days Gone.
gameplay footage.
And so in the past, so first of all, I will say this: leading up to this coverage, it's been very quiet. They haven't said anything about this project for a very long time. A lot of people were wondering
About a year.
what the hell's going on with it. We saw it at E3 last year.
Yeah.
It wasn't really much to discuss there. It was not very. I don't know.
They showed like 2 demos of this last.
I know,
Yeah.
but it was focused on stuff that wasn't really like the thing is the hook of this game is that everyone wants to kind of see is like
The horde of
the
zombies?
massive hordes of zombies.
But they showed that.
People actually want to see the zombie
like,
tech
but the
in
demo we
zombie
saw
game.
behind closed doors last year at E3 was not that. It was like
Yeah.
him taking on a camp of like dudes,
Yeah.
which looked fine, but
And
like,
a zombie.
and a zombear. Well, they teased the zombear. At
Also,
the
the
end.
first time they
Zom
showed
dogs.
this game, there was a horde.
Zomdogs.
Yes. The first time they showed the game, they showed the horde, and that was what got people's attention.
But it was also very clearly scripted, so that was kind of
Yeah.
one of the things
Yeah.
that people were kind of
Well,
like,
they say this horde stuff is not scripted. That
Well, no,
it's-
but
So-
that's what I'm saying, Brad. The stuff we saw before, before a month ago, everything we had saw of this game was very scripted, and it was clearly very scripted.
So and they've been playing. They've been keeping it close to the chest. So now we got our first real look at the game. They're doing a month-long coverage event of Days Gone. They showed the first hour of the game, and then today or yesterday they released a 20-minute video kind of showing how zombie hordes work.
The fluid dynamics of zombie hordes.
The fluid dynamics of zombie hordes. So I guess the news topic really here is just like now we've seen some footage of the game. Like I kind of want to know what y'all think of the game. I'm actually getting pretty excited because we talked a little bit last week and we didn't really know what to expect. I think Brad you were kind of leaning towards like this being more of kind of like a systems driven game, more like Dying Light, as opposed like in the interest of like trying to keep it separate from something like The Last of Us, which is obviously another major Sony property that's zombie focused. This seems like there's some crossover here, but now that you've seen like an hour plus of the game,
well, the first hour.
the first hour, yes, which is very story heavy. The first hour of the game is very much about setting up the characters, kind of introducing the world, showing how the motorcycle stuff works, kind of introducing the zombies like slowly, like not in hordes, to kind of get you used to how everything works. And then today we saw our first look at how actual hordes work.
So here's my thing, and this is built on just conjecture in my head about how this game is going to work with the zombie hordes.
You did watch the footage.
Yes, I did watch the footage. It doesn't feel like they're going to be really systems driven, to where you'll see like hordes wandering the map randomly. It feels like they're going to be like in set arenas and locations.
They talked about, first of all, the footage that you're talking about. You're talking about the footage we watched before the show.
Yeah, as one example.
Yeah, that was very much like set up in the interest of showing how they work.
That was almost like a story feature.
But
where it's, like,
there was an
introducing you
interview
to hordes.
that they released separate from this that I read earlier today, where they talked about things to do in the open world, and they talked about these hordes of zombies can literally pop up anywhere, and they do migrate because they look for sources of like water and food, so they gravitate towards area where there's lots of dead bodies. They said in the interview, I thought it was interesting, they actually need to drink to survive, so they gravitate towards bodies of water.
Okay, that's better.
But they made, first of all, I don't know how accurate this is. I will believe it when I see it. But like if you are wandering through an open, they keep calling it a big open world. We don't really know how big yet or what to compare it to or anything. But like if you're walking through a big open world and you come across a horde like that, just kind of out in the open, that sounds really exciting, and like trying to like deal with it and like you never really know where you're gonna run into it, and like trying to deal with it on the fly sounds really interesting. Or trying to avoid them on the fly, because I think that's going to be a very prominent option.
Either deal with it or GTFO.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they migrate like that, I see them being a really interesting gameplay mechanic.
That's
like,
what they're claiming. So
like,
I'm hoping that's
picturing,
true.
Like, I guess it was the opening of season 6 of The Walking Dead, in which they're leading like a horde of thousands.
Yeah,
of
where
them
they're in the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually looked like what the demo they showed today. Where they're
Like, I'm feeling like, what if you could get on your bike and just drive it down slowly
They
down the
tried doing that in
road
the video.
with them following you,
The thing
and
is,
lead them to an enemy faction base and wipe it out.
that could be cool.
So I think
That
the
could be
potential
really
of this
cool.
game are its systems, because honestly, in that first hour, the story stuff really did not do much.
Oh
for
man,
me.
I had the total opposite reaction.
I feel like the writing, the acting,
What's wrong with the acting?
maybe mostly the writing, to be honest.
Dude, I was on board with the story.
You know, it's
early
like
on.
it's like, oh man, don't go crazy. I know you're crazy sometimes. You know,
I'm pretty sure you just made that up.
no. When they're
I don't
like,
know what you're talking
when they're
about.
like in the tunnel and he sees like a nest and he's like, I gotta take care of this. And he's like, come on, man, you're just being crazy. You know how you get. You know about the thing. And it's like he's got zombie PTSD or some shit.
No, dude. First of all, I don't want to sit here and defend a story I haven't seen yet.
I'm not fucking sold on it. The other thing I don't like is
he lost his wife, right? That's kind of the driving
sure,
force,
of course, like any character like this, right?
Spoilers.
Sure, I mean, that's oh my god.
I'm just saying, like the way
did she die?
You're not
going to
show me a Last of Us cutscene, and I'm not going to talk shit about it. This didn't quite sell me on it. I also don't like the black cuts to cutscenes.
The what?
Like you're doing like driving around your bike in the world, and all of a sudden it cuts to black, and then it's like playing a cutscene.
Well, Brad, this is also super early.
They said that was
doing that a lot.
because of the fact that it's an alpha right now.
And there also might be a reason
They said
that,
the black cuts are specifically.
Well,
They,
no,
they asked
not?
him about it in the interview, like in the footage. I'm pretty sure, and they were talking about how like a lot of this is rough around the edges, and a lot of it is going to be ironed out, and a lot of that has to do with the transitions.
Are you
between
speaking in
scenes.
generalities, or are you speaking like very specifically about the cuts?
I don't want to talk out of my ass because I don't remember for certain, but I seem to remember someone asking about that specifically because they are kind of jarring.
Brad, it's hard to complain about visual aspects of a game that's over a year out. That's something that can easily change.
I know, but what I'm talking about is more of like a stylistic choice. That
Like
reminds me of how cutscenes were done like 10 years ago in games.
But like again,
Not like a technical hiccup.
this
or
was an
anything.
alpha build, and there may be stuff they just couldn't show for these transitions, so they just cut those out.
The
Brad,
thing
hold on,
talking
Brad.
about.
Here's the thing: you can take a game and do in-game cutscenes. The thing is, when games are in early and alpha, they're prone to fuck up. So what you can also do is take that in-game cutscene and record it, and then instead of playing that cutscene, you play back the recording, because then it makes it very easy for things not to fuck up, because you have a perfect recording and nothing goes wrong.
Yeah,
so
sure.
when they're showing things off early on, they might do that.
Not to mention all the
because
footage
it's
they
buggy as
showed.
hell.
It just didn't look very slick. It looked like an old GTA game where you pull up to your location and then it loads the cutscene.
All I'm saying is they talked about it several times because there's several different videos they've shown with Game Informer so far, and Sony does the editing on these videos. Like
it's not editing.
like that footage of the horde footage. That was all they went to Sony Bend. They played those sessions. Sony edited together the video and then gave it back to them so they could commentate.
I'm talking about just the story, the first hour. That's all I'm talking
Sure.
about.
Fine.
That's all I'm talking about. I'm just saying, like, stylistically, it seemed really dated in terms of presentation, which makes me think that maybe, they're not. Like
I don't know.
fucking Ninja
I think
Theory.
we're
I'm
spending a
just
little
saying.
too much time talking about a game that's still over a year out.
I mean,
Sure,
I wanted
but we're
to
just
talk
talking about what
I
we
wanted to
saw.
talk about it because I came off the footage like super excited. This
Which
is
is
actually
fine.
this is like becoming one of my most anticipated games.
I think there's a lot of
2019 at this
potential
point.
here, but for me, I think it's going to be realized in this open world. In
The only thing that I saw that made
The
me the
systems.
only thing that I heard during this footage that actually made me a bit concerned is they asked him the director, I think, or the director. They asked him how many people are in charge of like writing for this game, and he was like, it's pretty much just me. And he was like, it was like a one-person team like writing this game, which I think was kind of shocking. What is that message?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Is that gonna be good? It's not gonna
We're fine.
cause
It
any
could-
issues.
no,
Don't
it
worry
could,
about it.
actually,
All right.
but-
All right. Well, I guess we can move on from Days Gone. All I'm saying is like now that we've seen a significant chunk of the game, like I'm way more on board for it. Because you were talking about last week of being very systems driven, not very story heavy. I think they're leaning towards the opposite direction. I mean, it's going to be systems driven, obviously, because it has to be. Because the horde
I was
system.
saying I think their best chance of success is to kind of lean into the systems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
What else is in the news?
How about this?
Oh my god.
This may be a thing.
What? I don't
This
know.
is almost.
This is a terrifying.
Can we
thing.
read what the thing
Multiple
is?
sources are saying that
Are reporting that,
that Retro Studios is rumored to be working on Star Fox Grand Prix.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What have you done?
Star
Don't worry about
Fox Grand
Don't worry about it.
Prix. A Star Fox
Racing
racing
Oh, did I
game
miss it?
is what Retro Studios has been working on.
There's even a logo
there's
out
even
there.
a logo. Multiple sources are confirming it.
I'm like
guess.
90% certain this is accurate.
I mean, that's the way they sound. That's the way they're making it sound. That sounds like a tragedy.
Really?
I was kind of on board with it being a tragedy but the more I thought about it,
You're just a Diddy Kong Racing fan.
I love Diddy Kong Racing. What's wrong with Diddy Kong Racing? Why?
Okay.
Other than the boss races, like there's not much.
Okay. A couple things. One, it's just a fucking kart racer, right?
All I'm saying is, first of all,
It's just a kart.
let me just say this: Retro Studios is a very talented studio. Star Fox is a series.
They used to be. They used to be talented.
What has changed that makes you think they're not talented anymore?
Well, a lot of the people like leads on Metroid Prime left.
Nick,
like-
wait, hold on, Nick. You know what happened to all their developers, right?
you're
Days
gonna
Gone.
make a dad joke, aren't you?
Days Gone.
A lot of their
Oh,
leads
damn
from
it.
Metroid Prime is gone.
Yeah, but they've also
He tried.
produced the Donkey Kong Country
Sure,
series,
which is,
which is
a lot
also
less
critically.
ambitious. It's critically acclaimed, but it's like far less ambitious than Metroid Prime was.
But you know what this sounds like? It sounds kind of ambitious. Like it sounds like
It sounds like a kart racer. Well, Grand Prix.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay. First of all, the reason why I think this is actually I'm getting more and more on board with it the more I think about it is one, I think Retro Studio has talented people. Two, I've never cared much for Star Fox as a series.
yeah,
Period.
me neither. That's part of the reason this kind of sucks.
And if there was ever going to be a Star Fox game that I think I would like, I feel like if it was more of like an F-Zero style game
why is
set in
that
Star
not
Fox.
F-Zero?
Hold on, Brad. Could you? Yeah, no, that would be
Because
good.
probably Star Fox has more name recognition.
Yeah, that's true too. Could you imagine, Brad, if it's almost similar to like I don't want to say like Mario Galaxy, but I think of like a combination of Mario Galaxy, Diddy Kong Racing, where in Diddy Kong Racing there were times where you would be, switching between terrain. So imagine like a Star Fox like racing game where you're on a planet and you're in tank mode and you're driving and all of a sudden like the planet ends, like the world ends, and then you have to transform into your ship.
I think that's
and now you're
exactly-
flying through space and you'll land on another planet.
I think
and
that's
do-
exactly what this is going to be.
Yeah.
I think it is going to be like Diddy Kong Racing. You're going to be like transforming.
Well, so
or
in
Diddy Kong Racing was
you never
separate.
transformed. You had in certain levels you could choose which
So
aircraft
if you
or
look
ship
at
or
like
whatever.
Sonic and Racing All Stars Transformed, whatever it's called, they did some of that.
I'm
They
thinking-
transform mid race.
No, what I was thinking of is some of the more recent Mario Karts where you'd go off cliffs and you'd
like
all of
that,
a sudden be gliding.
which is what
and
that
stuff like
Sonic
that.
one was like
Yeah.
too. A little more pronounced. You actually had like flying parts
Sure.
of the race. I think it's going to be that type of game. Like that's fine. My problem with it is one, I don't care about Star Fox. If they were doing like a full on Nintendo, all Nintendo characters, Nintendo worlds, kind of like what Mario Kart was becoming with all the DLC, like
what
which
Mario
is
Kart has
honestly
become.
what I think it should be, the whole Nintendo greater universe. But the fact that it's focused on Star Fox, the fact that it's just a racing game, and if you look at Mario Kart, there's not a lot there. Like there's a lot of tracks and stuff, but like I've talked about fairly recently on the podcast that I feel like Mario Kart could have grown a lot more than it has over the years. It's still just do the 50cc and do the 100cc cup. Well, you've done it all. It's like And I know it's a different studio, but what I'm saying is ultimately what's bothering me is like, is this really what Retro Studios has been working on this whole time?
Is there any chance that
that's a fucking bummer?
Well,
is there any
that's
chance
part
they
of the
have-
other story, though, about this is that supposedly there was another project they were working on that has been canceled.
Maybe, sure.
Also,
But
is there any chance
more
that
tragedy.
is there any chance that Retro has 2 teams working on 2 different
Yeah,
projects?
it sounds like their other one got canceled.
Yeah.
But like, that,
I mean,
I'm not
somebody
gonna,
had to do the
I'm not
port
going
on
to keep my
Tropical
fingers
Freeze.
crossed because there might be another project. The point is, this is the one we're probably about to find out about it, and it seems kind of lame. Even if it's good, it's lame. You know what I mean? Like if it's like it's like a studio that you really love is just making it's like when we found out about Donkey Kong. It's like. Sure, but
Sure, it's a fine game, but it's not as ambitious as you want.
It's like, what's a fucking developer you like? It's like when Rockstar made table tennis. Maybe that's a little extreme.
That's
but,
a bit of an extreme
but
example. Also, that was critically acclaimed table tennis.
That is true.
That was, yeah.
But it's like
people would buy Rockstar table tennis too.
That I feel like when Retro Studios was at its height, when it created Metroid Prime, it's this like amazing thing, right? And this amazing studio.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of those people left. They formed Armature, which Armature has had kind of a rocky start. They had a couple rocky projects. Recore was kind of cool, but why? It sucks to imagine that what was once the team that gave us Metroid Prime is now kind of making a rough game like Recore and making a Star Fox racing game, and it's like, this used to be something great, and now it's just something kind of okay.
Are you just saying Recore because it has people that worked on Metroid Prime?
Recore was made by Armature, which was a studio formed by people that left Retro.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, did the pieces spread out too much, and now we're never going to get something truly great again from these people? You know what I mean? Like kind of what happened to Rare after the fucking Shooter
I'm
Brothers
just saying
left
they just announced
to go make Time Splitters.
They just announced
What's happening to Bungie?
They just announced Metroid Prime 4, and I feel like if Retro was still even remotely the same team as it used to be, they would have given that project to Retro.
Yeah, maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe. Now Namco is supposedly working on it. That's that was the rumor from months and months ago.
I think we'll probably find out who's actually working on that game at E3.
Yeah, it worries me that they don't want to say, or they haven't.
That is
said
true.
It
could be Mercury's team.
Destroyer of Worlds.
I'm so sorry. Anyways, let's move on. What's the next news topic?
How about...
This is actually E3 related, like directly.
It's true.
Sony has finally announced their E3 plans, including, first of all, they've been very coy about what their press conference is. I don't even know if they're doing an actual physical on location press conference.
No, I think
this
they
year.
are. I think they said that. I think they said they are. There were some concerns that they weren't, and then I think they've clarified.
Okay, that's
that
good.
There is going to be something.
That's good because they do really great. They do really great press conferences.
They've always been really good. Remember last year when they had the water fucking shit coming down and there was the guys up there playing the music and stuff, and we were like, is that Neil Druckmann? That one guy. Remember that one guy looked like Neil Druckmann?
And it's the intro to Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Is that him?
Yeah.
But, it wasn't. But it was Uncharted Lost Legacy.
But
anyway.
they have announced one. They're going to try something a little bit different this year. They are announcing way ahead of time they're going to be focusing on 4 major games.
Maybe they're trying to throw us off.
First of all, there's some caveats here because a lot of people have assumed that they've announced the 4 games they're going to focus on at their press conference. That means that's all we're going to see. Not the case.
Yeah.
These are the 4 first-party Sony exclusives they're going to be focusing on, which means we're going to get first gameplay demonstrations of Spider-Man, Death Stranding, the Ghost of Tsushima from Insomniac, and Last of Us Part 2.
One of these is not like the others.
Are you saying Spider-Man?
I'm less excited about Spider-Man because we've already seen a bunch.
And that one's coming fairly soon.
We have seen a decent amount of Spider-Man.
The other ones are complete mysteries.
Yeah, the other ones
exciting.
we haven't really seen gameplay from any of them.
No.
But Last of Us Part 2, you have an idea of what it is because you have the first game.
But we don't.
To an
We don't.
extent,
Like
but they could
we've
completely
seen
change it.
we've seen pure
I mean,
cinematics,
maybe.
and who's to say they don't reinvent the way that The Last of Us Part 1 was great, but it was also it was a pretty linear experience. who's to say they don't they don't crack this one open?
My
and,
assumption is this is going to be not completely open world,
but more like
more
God of War, like whereas maybe like a
more
hub
open world
type thing. Who the hell
More
knows?
like Lost Legacy.
Who the hell? Yeah,
Yes,
or Lost
correct.
Legacy.
That's what I was
Who
thinking.
knows?
More like Lost Legacy.
But we still have no
Oh
idea.
yeah,
what
sorry,
Ghost
I
of
meant to say
Tsushima
Sucker
is.
Punch when I said Ghost of Tsushima. I always get Sucker Punch and Insomniac like mixed up.
Well, no, that's because we thought originally it was going to be.
That's right. Insomniac's doing Spider-Man. My bad.
And I think because Death
Wait,
Stranding,
what, Nick?
Insomniac is doing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I
Correct.
think because Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima are the ones that are so unknown, especially Death Stranding. Those are the ones I'm most excited about.
So did they actually say we're going to see gameplay footage?
They said
for-
they're going to feature all four of these games heavily at their press
Because
conference.
my hope was they were just like never going to show any gameplay of Death Stranding.
Just
I
drop
wanted
it.
them to just show us the most random shit over and over and over.
Oh,
and
there
then
will
the
be some
game-
random shit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like no gameplay footage. And
There are
then
going to
the
be
game,
babies falling out
the
of Norman
game just
Reedus.
comes out, and no one has any fucking idea what it actually is.
Dude, you know what's funny though? I bet they could show
I
this
don't
game.
want that.
They
Dude,
could.
like I want what they show at E3 this year to be fucking Norman Reedus sitting across from a table from a fucking baby in a little capsule drinking tea. And then having shit going on in the background, and like that's it,
I'm worried
like
that
something
it
fucking
is
crazy
just
like
going
that.
to be
And then
that,
fiery
you
space
know?
whale flying in
I'm
the
ready
background.
to. I'm ready to know
Dude.
what and if this is a real game.
I don't want to know, dude. I want it to just come out.
Nolan,
I wanna
Nolan, I feel like this is a game they could show gameplay of it, and we'd still be just as fucking confused.
No,
You know what? However,
it's probably gonna be. Like
I mean,
Metal Gear.
according to
Personally-
interviews that were like from last year about the game, they said that you start to understand what the game is around the 4 or 5 hour mark.
which means they're probably going to show demos from past that point.
Ooh.
I'm
What's more of a game, Death Stranding or Beyond Good and Evil 2?
Death Stranding.
Ooh, yeah, Death Stranding.
Yeah, probably.
I think.
I think
But-
we're just more optimistic.
As fucking strange as
Of these four games, I am personally the most excited to see Ghost of Tsushima. I don't know why.
I honestly,
I don't know why.
no,
but I'm-
it's your Onimusha.
Well, no, I
boner
don't
that
think
you
it's
got
that.
going.
I think
Sucker
it's
Punch.
first of all.
Do I though?
Well, no. First of all, we've seen a Last of Us game before. We've been teased on Death Stranding for years.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima is the one that
It's
we
a new
barely
IP.
see anything
All we've
from.
seen
It's a
is a
new IP.
cinematic
We saw that
trailer.
one cinematic trailer that got everyone fucking hard. So
Fully
yeah,
erect,
we
yes.
are definitely excited to see more of that.
Absolutely.
That's why.
Absolutely. Either way, this sounds like a fantastic show. But they also said they're going to be announcing third-party titles, like
Yeah.
partnerships. So that means we could see From Software, Capcom, like any number of games that we talked about on our show last week, which you should check out.
But if it was Bloodborne, that would be first party, right?
Surely they've got to
Surely.
announce
Yeah,
that.
but like that also means that like it might not be one of these four games because one, it's probably just a
but
trailer.
there are rumors and sources saying that it is actually not Bloodborne 2. The From Software teaser.
What is it?
They don't. That's not confirmed.
Well, that's a bad rumor then.
Wait, last week I said that and you said I was full of shit. More or less.
because you were speculating. This person is saying as a source.
Oh.
that, hey,
Because I was not. I didn't
you're
have.
not citing a source. What are you talking about? You're just fucking guessing.
Brad, can you cite your source then?
I mean, the person who tweeted it.
That's not how a source works, Brad.
Guys,
If I were to
what are we
turn in-
doing?
If I were to turn in a paper and be like, someone said it, that's not a source. That's not how that works.
What are we talking about here?
I don't know.
Brad's a liar.
What we are talking about is that the Sony press conference is going to feature these 4 games, and there's more than likely going to be like probably 8 or 9 different games in between.
Yeah, we've
They're
already
just going to
talked
show
about
trailers.
that.
We're
for
gonna
it.
see trailers
You know
for-
they've got to show.
Let's move on.
Maybe.
You
Let's
know,
move on.
Final Fantasy
PSVR
VII.
stuff.
We've talked enough about this. Yeah. let's
No,
move on.
actually, that's another thing. No hardware announcements at all, which means no VR.
that's not
at all.
hardware
That's-
though.
That is considered hardware.
They're not gonna talk
no,
about
like
VR
I'm talking about like
games?
headsets. So they're not going to announce any like new version of the
Okay.
PSVR
Oh
headset.
yeah, no. That's not what.
But like no hardware announcement. It's going to be pure software games.
They didn't say anything about headwear announcements.
Shut up, Nolan. Shut up, Nolan. This is
new
also
PS4 hat?
this could also be where we see Rocksteady. Who the hell knows?
Could be.
The point is, there's a lot of potential there. I'm excited for all 4 of those games. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then see what else they announce. It'll be great. What else do we have? Is that all for the
That's
news?
pretty much it.
I have actually one news topic that came out earlier today that someone emailed me and I had to check it and I noticed it the headline of the email for immediate release from Steam.
Okay.
Steam Link, we're all familiar with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lets you stream
Oh yeah,
a
this
video.
story. This is pretty cool.
From your PC to the Steam Link box, so you can play it in another room. The Steam Link app for Android devices is now available, free of charge, and for beta users everywhere. You can now stream your PC games to your phone.
But how do you control half of them?
Well, you probably with a Bluetooth controller.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
so I was right. Skyrim is coming to phones. You'll be able to play Skyrim on your phone. Or anything else.
Suppose you're
Yeah.
correct.
So yeah,
I got an email for E3 today for making. I don't know, if
dude, that's actually kind of
I
cool.
can't remember if this is embargoed or not. I have to
Maybe not
double-check this.
Skyrim, but Into the Breach or something.
Into the Breach would be like, yeah, obviously anything that's turn-based or more simple or something like that would be great. Nick, you could play Hollow Knight on your phone.
Oh, never
in
mind.
bed.
This is embargoed. I can't say anything about this. There was something else I thought was pretty interesting, but I can't say anything about it.
You could play Hayato Boyfriendo. What is that?
Yeah, because that's exactly what I'd.
Yeah, you could.
That's
play,
my jam.
You could play Senran Kagura in bed.
That sounds like you, Nolan. You play Senran Kagura. I've never
Not
touched that
really.
series. You're the one putting sushi.
You could play Valhalla.
I could.
Cyberpunk
But yeah,
bartending action
release dates for
Valhalla.
iOS version is pending further review from Apple. Blah blah blah. But yeah, honestly, that's kind of cool. Like especially the fact that it's free.
Yeah.
For beta users, man, I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like for everyone,
I'm
though.
definitely gonna sign up for it.
Does not sound like for everyone.
It's probably gonna fucking kill your battery.
All right.
Well, that's why you plug it in.
That is true. All right, that's it for news. So let's go ahead and jump into Patreon questions because we didn't get to many of them last week.
Oh shit, I am not ready.
And Nolan is not ready. What's
I
up, guys?
apologize.
While he's doing that, Brad,
Yeah,
how's it going?
it's going great.
We're trying
man.
to pass some time while Nolan pulls up
How-
Patreon questions.
What are you asking me?
How is it being a father and a gamer at the same time?
Sucks.
All right. There it is. You heard it here first.
That sounds like doing a
It
podcast and being
sucks.
a gamer.
Yeah,
I really
it kind of
don't-
is.
No.
Except you don't have that. Father's more dedication to time.
You know what? I just want to play my fucking games again. I haven't been able to really play much of anything this week because my gaming room is in complete disarray.
You missed out on the perfect streaming opportunity.
Dude, okay, first of all, I just want everybody at home to know. I told everybody that I wasn't going to be able to stream this week because I was painting my room where I stream games. I play all my games in this room. So I had to tear the room apart. And everybody wanted me to stream paint drying. That was like a thing in our Discord for like ever. Like, Nick, you got to stream the paint drying. And I refused. Because it would have just complicated the process further. And now I'm the bad guy for not streaming paint drying for y'all's entertainment. I'm so sorry.
I mean, you kind of are.
It's not even like an exciting paint color. It's like gray. Like what? The sad thing is it probably would have gotten more viewers than any stream that we've had in like a year.
See, look at chat.
Look at the 4 people.
Wait, did we not post a new thread, or we're just using
no,
the same one?
last week's. We're using last week's.
Okay, cool.
No, like all these people calling me out for not doing this, fucking guarantee you wouldn't have shown up. You would not have shown up to watch paint dry.
I would have shown up for a bit at least.
A bit.
Yeah.
Putting it on in the background while you go do other things doesn't count either.
Maybe
You just
like
gotta hype it up.
donate a bit.
I wasn't gonna hype it up. I was busy. I had other shit to do.
If we hit a Patreon goal, we'll add another layer.
No, that's not how that works.
That's
I want my
not
room to be
paint.
back, and it will be this weekend.
So anyway, in regards to new patrons,
I don't think there were any this week.
I think 511 was the last one. Did we announce this person last week?
What's the name?
Well, there's Deshaun.
I don't think we've announced that person.
I don't think we announced Deshaun.
Deshaun, thank you.
And I don't think we announced Ben Horden.
Ben Horden?
It's all one word, so I don't know. Ben Horden?
Ben Horden?
Van Horden?
Well,
Man,
thank you both.
Thank you both for supporting us on Patreon.
You guys are pretty cool.
We are going to be updating our Patreon soon, perhaps with some new goals to work towards. So maybe look forward to that. We'll make an announcement hopefully by next week. I'd like to have it slang concrete by next week, but we'll see. But anyways, thank you to anyone who supports us on Patreon. Patreon.com/4Player is where you can find us if you'd like to support us financially. As little as $1 per month gets you the ability to ask us questions on every podcast and 24-hour early access to all of our podcast episodes without ads. I might add. Without ads, I might
I don't remember. I'm trying to remember some of the questions I asked. Did we ask?
Don't ask Burnsies again.
I know that. Did we answer Sir Thomas Thipples last week?
I don't think so. Just ask the question. I'll tell you.
How do you feel about meta narratives or media that sells itself on being meta? I feel that far too often people will heap praise onto a work for simply being self-referential or for breaking the fourth wall without it actually doing or saying anything about the narrative of storytelling or the medium itself. It's fine if they just have fun with breaking the fourth wall, but let's stop acting like it's genius-level writing when a character looks at the screen and makes a funny... and makes a funny.
I feel like that's more related to like I think films do it more often than games.
It depends on the game.
I'm trying to think of a game that does like maybe
Sunset Overdrive.
I mean, Sunset Overdrive is
okay.
one.
I didn't play much of that.
I don't think it happens far too
missed out.
often in games. I think it's a little bit more rare. Of
It's
an
definitely like I
occurrence.
watched Wolf of Wall Street this past weekend. Like that does that a lot.
What are those? Jesus Christ, my brain.
Gonna watch Deadpool. That does that.
Yeah, no,
does that a lot.
Quentin Tarantino films.
Deep Silver's Grand Theft
Saints
Auto.
Row?
Saints Row. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
thank you. Saints Row
man.
breaks the fourth wall often.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, I think it's fine. Honestly, I don't mind if a game does it. But like I said, it depends on the style of the game. Obviously, if The Last of Us were to break the fourth wall, that'd be kind of fucking weird, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it.
But if it was like an Easter egg joke,
Well, yeah, so yeah, and that's fine. I guess.
it's the quality and quantity thereof.
Yeah.
Yeah, and where it's placed and how it's used, it could go either direction. Honestly, I feel like it's kind of I don't want to say underused, but I feel like the medium of video games is unique enough in that like you could probably do some really creative things with meta narratives in video games, but I just don't think it happens very often. I feel like you definitely see that shit a lot more in film and television.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree. All right, well, let's move on.
But I would welcome it. I'd like to see people try it more often.
I think it does definitely lend itself to comedy more so
Sure.
than drama or serious situations.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on. Mr. Green Toast asks, since I'm going on a cruise ship trip for a week this upcoming Sunday.
He's going on a cruise.
I'm assuming he's still on that trip. I figure I'd ask this. Would you rather spend a week on the Queen Zenobia ship from Resident Evil Revelations, the Eastern Spirit ship from Cold Fear, or the Ishimura spaceship from Dead Space?
I've only played one of these. That's Dead Space. I don't think I played Revelations where you were on a cruise ship. Which one was that?
Revelations. That was it. Was on the 3DS and then got an HD port.
Oh, right. Okay, I was thinking of the other Resident Evil game with the cruise ship, Dead Aim, and I did play that one for sure. That was terrible.
I'd go with the Queen Zenobia.
That's the Resident Evil one, right?
Mm-hmm. I feel like the zombies move slow enough.
But they weren't really zombies in that game.
Yeah.
They were like weird things missing their skin, but I don't know. It was bizarre. It definitely wasn't zombies.
I know, but
It was at those. It was kind of like the Regenerators from Resident Evil 4, but like a lot less inspired.
Yeah, lame. People are talking about us breaking the fourth wall. I guess if we broke the fourth wall, one of us would have to like stand up and walk towards the camera and talk to them while we're still talking here, right?
not necessarily.
That's how we would in the podcast
Like
would break the fourth wall.
Like like a Woody Allen, like sort of, whatever. Just keep going.
But the whole thing about the fourth wall is that the people that are doing the talking are not aware of the audience.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like one of us. I know exactly.
It would require some effort on our parts because we would have to continue having a conversation without completely ignoring the fact that someone got up and started talking to the screen.
Exactly.
Literally, chat's right there.
Yeah. Not to mention the microphones are here and the person talking to the mic over there.
That's true.
It wouldn't work
Do y'all
very
have any other opinions? What ship you'd like to spend a week on?
How bad was the ship in Cold Fear?
I don't remember.
It's.
Did anybody play Cold Fear?
It was a PS2 jank game with zombies.
I did not.
On a cruise ship.
I'm gonna go with that one.
I'd probably pick like the Black Flag ship,
That's not enough.
That wasn't an option, Brad.
so I can sing some sea shanties.
not enough.
That's
option.
not how this fucking question works.
Shut up, Brad.
I'm gonna go with Cold Fear because I feel like that's probably nowhere near as frightening as Resident Evil or Dead Space.
Maybe an airship.
Next question, Nolan.
Question from Zlade. You guys probably have been asked this before. Have you ever bought a game just because you liked how it looks?
We did answer this question.
We
cover?
have many times.
Because I remember saying all the time.
Or judging a game by its cover, or are we talking about like
No, just like
Box art or
However you want to take
in
it.
game.
However you want to take it.
Oh, how it looks, like visuals.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, I've done that
Magna
before.
Carta
Yeah, I did that. Never played it.
was definitely
But man,
one.
woo, I did that one. That's for sure.
I like Cantaloupe a lot.
That was was
so-
mostly based on cover art.
I learned a lesson when I bought Legend of Mana.
That's
Visuals.
Oh, Legend of Mana, not Secret of Mana.
Yeah.
Two
Yeah,
very
very
different
different
things.
That
games.
Very
one.
different things.
Oh, we did answer that last week? Oh, sorry, Slade. Well, you got
Or you're
your question
welcome.
answered again. Fuck off.
Wind Waker.
Like, why are you
Or
so
you're-
upset that your question got answered twice? All right, moving on.
How
SMG
rude.
asks, is a stack of waffles with syrup and fruit a sandwich?
No. Moving on.
No.
I mean, hold on. So if you had a stack of waffles and you put some, like, meat in there, and then
It
you
doesn't
just,
even
like,
have
took
to
a
be
bite
meat.
out of
It
it?
doesn't even have to be meat.
Why not?
You know, if it's dry on the outside and you just put like, you know,
Lube?
like a layer of like cream cheese and then fruit,
Mhm.
and then
You can
if
make a
it's
fruit
layered
sandwich.
between bread,
It's almost like ladyfingers.
But it's not between bread.
It's not between bread. He said it's on
Well, hold
a
on.
waffle.
What's bread, Nick?
Yeah.
Define bread for me real quick.
No, but like he said on a waffle.
But I wanted to say, define bread.
it does. Yeah,
don't ask me to define. I mean, I know
It doesn't
waffles.
even have to be a bread, really.
Nick-
remember the double down?
Nick,
It was a sandwich where the
have
where
you- Nick,
instead
have
of
you
bread,
heard
it
of
was
this?
chicken.
have you heard of an open face sandwich?
That's
I don't
that's
qualify
as close
that.
as you can get.
I don't consider that.
Remember the double down?
Can you, Nick define
Was
bread?
that
Were you
not
one
a
of those
sandwich?
fucking hot dog freaks from last week that said hot dogs were
No,
sandwiches?
hot dogs are not sandwiches.
That's,
Nick,
that's basically an open face
define
sandwich. Then.
bread.
Don't ask me to. What do you?
I just want to know what's bread.
Why, how do I even answer that?
With an
Everybody knows
answer.
what bread is.
Then answer the question.
I
Nick.
don't
What's
know.
bread? What's bread, Nick?
It's edible bread.
Bread is bread.
Bread is
I don't think you can define bread.
Bread is
like when
bread.
I look up a dictionary
Bread
and I
is
look
bread.
up the definition of house. It doesn't say it's a house.
I don't know. How do you define bread?
Bread is flour and
That's the name
yeast
of our
See, that
and
requires me
water
to- I don't-
and sugar combined and then baked.
All right, I don't make bread very often.
That's
Nolan.
fine. You don't have to.
I don't know
But
how to
then
make bread.
What's a waffle? It's
And
like
now this is going to be
flour
highlighted
and
forever.
yeast
Nick doesn't know
and
how to make
water,
bread.
and then you cook it.
Nick's so stupid. He doesn't know how to make bread. That's my life now. Thanks, Nolan.
Sorry, Nick.
No, this is the name of the show. What is bread?
I just kept hoping Brad would keep interrupting, and then Nolan would stop asking me to define bread. Then he just kept going.
It's fine. It's fine. Sure, SMG. Why not? Shadow Step asks, if you ran your own small country, what would be your number one rule?
Don't be a jackass.
Vote El Presidente or else.
No, that's a.
I run the country. They can't do shit about it.
So you'd be a dictator.
yes.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
My rules.
Ejected from this podcast.
It's my country and I need it now.
Okay, Brad. What?
Like what he said, but sex mostly.
Fuck
I'd be a sex dictator.
So you just have sex with every guy? Or?
No potatoes.
Guys, what the fuck is
dictator.
happening right now?
That's the number one rule. It's-
But that's not even. Sex is not a rule.
no, I'm a sex dictator.
So you only have sex
Are
with
you, wait, are
dicks?
you saying you dictate sex?
No, he has sex with potatoes.
That's oh my
A sex
dictator. I get it. I get it. You made a potato. I said a potato joke.
Potato.
Moving on. What? No one. What's your answer to this question? This show is unraveling fast.
Mandatory 4-day weekends.
I would even, if you don't want to go as far as I would even say 3-day weekends would be an improvement. But like, I don't know.
My country's better. We
Mandatory
got 4.
nap time every day at work.
Siestas?
Siestas, yeah. I think that should be a rule.
It
All right,
is in
moving on.
Mexico.
Final question for this week from Phoenix
guys
and
are fucked up.
Flames.
Just so y'all know.
I could have been a benevolent dictator.
There's
You
no
just
such-
got to vote for me.
There's no such thing. Sorry, Nolan.
There is.
Phoenix and Flames asks, do you prefer to play as a defined character you can relate to, or role-playing as a character you don't relate to?
Define characters for me all the way, 100%. I hate character creation.
It depends on the game for me. I
Yeah.
do often like defined characters. It depends on the scenario, and that was one of the things I was saying about what was the game I played recently? Shit, where there's a silent protagonist.
Far Cry.
Yes, thank you, Chris Davis. Far Cry, prime example, not primal, but Far Cry 5. The character was nothingness, and I fucking hated it. I wanted something more like 3, where the character had an actual personality.
Or Primal.
Don't get me wrong. I didn't love the character from 3, but the fact that there was something there made a difference for me.
I would outlaw Bread as a dictator. How's that?
Ooh.
Hey,
dude,
you said bread.
No,
Bread. I didn't say Brad. I said Bread.
But I told you I'm going to be the sex dictator.
He's gonna have sex with bread.
Well, basically,
who would want to?
I get to have sex with anything I want because I'm the sex dictator.
You know what?
Like a pig?
I say anything I want.
I mean, if it's Tuesday.
I'm sorry, like a donkey?
Guys, this is unraveling so fast. What were we talking about? What was that?
Define characters or
God,
role playing.
You know what? I really definitely prefer when the character is outlined for me, but like when a character is outlined poorly, it definitely distracts me from a lot of the other experiences.
Well, that just sounds like a problem with the art direction.
No, but I mean like I don't like spending the first hour of a game in a menu trying to decide what my character looks.
No, I agree with you.
I hate that shit. Like the first time I tried an Elder Scrolls game, I was like, I can already tell I'm not gonna like this very much.
But you get to make ladies.
But like, I would rather just be a lady and have them tell me what the lady looks and sounds like, and
It
what.
depends on the kind of game, and it depends on the quality.
But what if you get to make her boobs bigger? Nick, what if, like in Conan, there's a dong slider? You don't want to slide the dong?
Okay, first of all,
wasn't there a boob slider for the female?
I also didn't say that that I would not play games with a character creator. I'm just saying I very much prefer when the character is just kind of created and presented to me.
Mm-hmm.
But that's mostly because usually, most times, with the games that I play at least, or that I choose to spend my time with, the character that is laid out for me is better than anything I would have created myself.
Sure.
There was really a dong slider?
Yes.
No,
dude,
no one did anything.
That was one of our
the
top
smallest
highlights.
or the biggest,
Brad,
right?
go watch the highlight.
No one did. Oh, medium.
Go
dick.
watch the highlight of me sliding it, going and just watching the dick just get small and
But
big.
you
and
see
small
what I'm
and big.
saying, right?
Yes.
No one does.
No
the
one does
middle.
a medium.
No one does
You
a
either
medium
do
dick.
as small as it goes or as big as it goes. Because the thing is, Brad, when you crouch in that game,
God,
your junk
crouching.
hangs straight down, and you can just see it.
I mean,
The people that don't do
It's
the biggest or the
oppressive.
smallest are the ones I look at like kind of.
They're probably looking in a mirror.
Those are probably
Yeah, the ones that
people
try-
like me who like those people just deserve like a defined character. Like they shouldn't be given the privilege of creating their own character if they're not going to go biggest.
I mean,
or
I
smallest.
guess you could probably like randomize
On the dong slider.
Brad. You could randomize the dong slider.
I thought it did that when you created your character, anyways.
I think by default it does, but then you have the option of changing it.
I'm gonna call the show the Dong
I
Slider.
thought that was the big
Dong Slider show.
thing about it,
But anyway, yeah, that's all the questions this week. So thanks to all our patrons. for
Yes,
asking
thank you
those
guys so much for the
lovely
questions. We really appreciate it. We will get. Sorry we didn't get some more questions last week. It was a long show.
Yeah.
I will remind everybody, if you haven't yet, please go listen to our E3 prediction show. It was a fun show. We talk a lot about E3 and all of our hopes and dreams and thoughts and everything going into the show. Check it out. We will get another post up early next week for the next episode, which will be next Thursday. But now we're going to, of course, wrap up the show as we always do with the 4-Player Minute.
the 4-Player Minute.
And Brad's going to start us off, right?
yeah, I'll start us off.
Go!
My hype for this week is for the NES Classic, which Nintendo says they're going to be re-releasing in stores. The NES Classic.
I'm so done with this shit.
You never started.
I know.
Yeah, you didn't.
I know. That's
I'm
why I'm
excited
done
about
with
the
it.
NES Classic because I never got a chance to get the original NES Classic, and I want to. I just wish it had Castlevania.
Wait,
3
is
on
this
it.
an
I don't care.
NES Classic?
Classic? My thank you for this week goes to Nolan and Carlos for helping me take some pictures of my baby.
What did Carlos do?
He helped me take a picture of Henry for I gave to moms for Mother's Day.
Oh, okay.
Because I probably need to get like a good camera because I don't think phones are not quite cutting.
Brad,
it.
you're not coming across very loud on the
Phones are
audio.
not quite. I'm tired. Phones are not quite cutting it when it comes to baby pictures. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Need to get a good camera. My sweat for this week. I'm gonna throw it at Vampire.
When is that coming out? That's June, right?
June.
That's like in
first
middle of
week-
E3,
No,
right?
like first week of June.
Yeah, it's right. It's right before E3.
Like the 5th or something.
I'll still
right?
be balls deep in Detroit probably at that point.
I'm a-
God, I forgot about Detroit.
Yeah, I'm a little.
That's next Friday.
I'm
God
a little nervous
damn it.
about Vampire because honestly, I feel like the studio means well, but they really haven't truly proven themselves yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen enough to that. Like, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy the gameplay we saw, but I'm still worried about it.
Yeah, because Remember Me was problematic, and Life is Strange wasn't all that much of a video game in the traditional sense. So this could be like a real disaster for all we know. But we'll see. Could be cool. And my fuck you goes to, I guess, just me for kind of falling behind on all these games that I've been playing that I want to be playing.
Happens every year.
But it was happening to me last year, but I had a chance to catch up because I went on parental leave, and it was when Henry was he slept all fucking day. So I caught up on a bunch of the shit that I had fallen behind on, but I'm not going to be able to have that this year. So I feel like I'm just going to have to not play things that I've started and really enjoyed, and I'm already seeing that happen, and it's, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You'll be able to play it in like 12 years.
Fuck. So,
Fuck.
anyways, that's all.
I think you're grossly underestimating how soon a child can be independent.
Just send them to their room and then send them on chores.
Well, right now it's been the toughest because he can move around and he gets upset when he can't move around.
I'll just wait until he gets to the terrible twos.
All right, my 4-player minute starts now. My hype is for State of Decay 2. Holy shit, that game's out right now.
It's on your
it
computer.
is.
I want to be playing it right now. I'm really excited for it. I unfortunately don't know how much of the co-op I'll be playing, mainly because I feel bad for someone joining my game and getting nothing in return, essentially. I was really hoping it'd be more like Far Cry 4 style, where you can just kind of do everything together or go back and do something on your own.
Well, from my understanding, is that you can actually take a full backpack back to your base.
One backpack?
Who the fuck cares?
Hey, that may be something.
But mission progress is
Yeah,
not
that's what I'm
saved.
saying. It sucks that, help me for 4 hours, improve all my shit, and you get a backpack. That's kind of a shitty trade. My other hype goes for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I am seeing a Master Pancake of that tomorrow. For those who don't know, Master Pancake is similar to Mystery Science Theater, but it's live. I'm seeing that. I'm pretty hyped. I've not seen The Last Crusade in years. I love that movie. I'm excited to go watch some people make fun of it.
I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark 2 weeks ago on VHS.
Oh, Jesus.
VHS.
VHS.
Yeah, his girlfriend has. She likes
Robin
the
has a bunch of
VHS.
VHSs and a VHS
Did you have
player.
that talk with her about not bringing those into the...
Oh, no, she's already brought them over to my house. They're already stored
Nothing
there.
wrong with it.
Does she have a rewinder in her car?
Why in her car?
No, they made those for the car.
No, the funny thing is-
on the way to the video store, you could
Really?
you
Yeah.
could just pop them in and rewind.
That's
it.
bizarre. The funny thing is she's trying to upgrade her collection by buying DVDs.
Nice. DVDs. Perfect.
I was like,
She's only a decade behind.
just do the Blu-rays.
All right. My other hype goes to Saturday. I am seeing Deadpool 2. I am super fucking hyped for that as well. I haven't seen I've only seen a couple of the trailers. I know a bunch more stuff has come out in the past few days. I'm not gonna watch it though. A bunch of like 5 minutes of the
I didn't see
movie.
that.
Yeah,
I've only been watching stuff when it's very clearly weird
super
commercials
meta
that are
and,
super
out there,
yeah.
the David Beckham thing. Oh yeah, we should have brought that up. Did you see all the Walmart stuff?
Yeah, that stuff's great.
That's fucking incredible. Did you see that, Brad?
Oh, yeah.
They
that
made
was
the
really
slip
good.
covers for all the DVDs
all
they put
these
on the
Fox
end caps.
movies they had an end cap with all these Fox owned movies, and they put slip covers on all of them that were Deadpool. So they did a Logan, they did a Good, Bad, and the Ugly,
Days
a
of Future
Predator,
Past.
Terminator, all this stuff, but they were replaced it with Deadpool. Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
It was fucking fantastic. So I'm not going to go buy any of those, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I'm super hyped for Deadpool 2. And then my sweat goes to Yakuza 6. I started playing that the other day, but it's kind of taking a minute to get started, and now I'm about to start Deadpool, and then
Deadpool?
Thank
That's
you.
only gonna take 2 hours.
Thank
State
you,
of
Brad.
Decay?
State of Decay 2, and then Detroit Become Humans about to come out, and then right after that is Vampire, and just oh god, I don't have any fucking time.
Is it one gonna play Beyond Two Souls since it's PlayStation Plus?
I downloaded it.
Ugh. Dude, I played that when it
Should I
first
do it,
came
Brad?
out.
Yeah.
Should I do it?
That'd
Are you
be
gonna
a
play
good
like the
stream.
regular version? Or you gonna play like the linear version?
That'd be
I don't know what that
difference?
means.
Like they released an update like a year later.
Whatever
that
the ones on
restructured the game
PlayStation
where it was
Plus.
linear.
No. Whatever is released on PlayStation
Well, no,
Plus.
PlayStation Plus, I'm sure, has access to that. Like, you can probably choose, I'm
Oh.
assuming.
be a good
I don't know.
stream.
Anyway, that's my 4-player minute.
Chris Davis.
Okay, my hype this week is for E3.
little early.
We've there's a lot of news coming out, and there's a lot of games that are going to be there. And oh my god, we've been making some E3 appointments, and I get to play a certain game that is like
You're welcome.
so
Chris.
high on my list.
You see the follow-up email, Chris Davis? It's just you.
I know.
It's
What-
just
what's
you
me?
now.
It's just me
It's just Chris Davis going to play Metro
for an hour,
for an hour.
a whole hour.
They don't,
Nothing but
they don't
Metro.
even think they can fit in a +1.
It's like,
so
oh,
I was just
baby.
like, I'm gonna get hell if I don't. Don't worry, I'll
Look
go.
forward to that.
I'll go find it at the Sony booth or something.
I hope
My-
that it's way less shallow than the first two games.
Do you want to die?
He just can't help himself. Just keep going. Just keep going.
I will make you deep throat that entire bag of fucking licorice.
Ooh. By the
Jesus.
way, that licorice was fucking.
Hey, deep throat a bag.
Yeah, my sweat is for State of Decay 2 because man, I'm so far into BattleTech right now. It's really tickling my dick, and that now here's State of Decay 2. What the fuck do you want me to say other than that?
I don't know.
Like,
Just
I'm
very,
hyped.
It's a very colorful picture you
I
just
mean,
painted.
it's-
That's all.
I don't know if I'll really dedicate the time I really want to State of Decay 2 because BattleTech is so fucking good.
And I hear State of Decay's.
My thank you goes to Nick for handling all the E3 appointments this year. I've been trying, but for some reason, you've been getting all the emails way before I can. And so I like the Metro email that came in like 5 hours later for me.
You've been handling all of the appointments. You mean like all 4 of them?
Hey, that's 4 so far.
Hey man, we've very quickly discovered one, we're not IGN, so we don't get like the crazy shit.
Are
And when
we
we do get
not?
the crazy shit, it's like 2 or 3 a year we get the crazy shit. The rest of it's usually better for us to just kind of make our way around and play stuff on the floor instead of spending a lot of time doing other things. But
so far you've landed some pretty big appointments.
I'm still waiting for that email from CD Projekt Red. That's all I'm saying.
That'd
Yeah.
be
That's
good.
all I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't even think they've sent anything out yet though. But when you do, hit us up.
Negative4playernetwork.com. Yeah. Because he's making the appointments way faster than I can. And my fuck you this week is a preemptive fuck you I'm sending out to Sergey Grigorovich. He's the founder and owner of GSC Game World. You refused to fund and canceled Stalker 2 back in 2012. And you're reviving it clearly because you just want money now. And if these rumors of this interview you took are anything like what the final product is going to be, fuck you 7 ways from Sunday. This is not what Stalker is. It's nowhere near what it should be. And all your talent is gone. They went on to make 4A games, and they went on to make Vostok games, which made Servarium, which is basically exactly what you're fucking making. So fuck you if this is true.
Zlade says Chris Davis thinks he's talking directly to this person.
I hope I am. I hope he's listening to us right now. All the way from Ukraine.
He's like, you know what?
Sergey, if you're listening, fuck you.
Sergey is like, you know what? I wasn't planning on doing that, but now I'm going to double down on it because fuck you back. Sorry.
Hey, I'm one of the less passionate people in the Stalker community, okay? Like, there's people that are, like, batshit insane for this franchise.
Rest in peace, Stalker. Rest in peace. Is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn.
All right, I'm going to do several hypes. One hype. What?
Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
One hype. I saw an interview today, and I don't even, to be totally fair, I kind of caught a glimpse of it. I don't really know the specifics of it, but apparently there's talk. There is talk that it is possible that Square Enix might consider doing a Final Fantasy game that is an offline, single-player focused version of Final Fantasy XI. Which is nuts.
For phones,
Interesting.
right?
No. Maybe. I don't fucking know. I hope not. But, like, Final Fantasy XI, for the past 5 or 6 years, probably has been, like, my favorite, like, universe or world that they've created for Final Fantasy since 12, for sure. They keep making these like more and more like futuristic, like weird sci-fi versions of Final Fantasy, but I wish they would kind of keep going more and more towards like high fantasy stuff. And Final Fantasy 11 and Final Fantasy 14 too have all been kind of like, you know, high fantasy and like scratching that itch.
Yeah.
But I don't play MMOs, so I don't play them. So the idea of them maybe trying to adapt Final Fantasy 11 into a single player like traditional Final Fantasy game, it's kind of exciting. Although I'm not gonna hold my breath. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. My other hype is Days Gone. I've been following all of the Game Informer coverage. I think the game looks really, really good. It's really kind of scratching all the right itches for me. The Horde stuff looks good, especially if, like we said, the Hordes migrate and move across the open world.
Yeah.
Naturally, that could be really, really cool, and also horrifying. I can't imagine like getting caught by a Horde in the middle of the night or something, and like trying to run through the woods with like 500 fucking zombies chasing you. Like, and what you said, like, if you can use those to like lead hordes to like encampments and like overrun, you know, like take over camps by like
That'd be cool.
Sending fucking
I mean, that's what
into
last year's demo kind of implied.
that would be so fucking cool. All I'm saying is I'm so glad to now have seen more of the game. I'm personally pretty engaged by like the kind of the story they're trying to tell. The characters look pretty well done. I think the voice acting sounds great. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited for it. I wish that game was coming out sooner, but it's going to be 2019. My other hype, obviously, is E3. I'm getting very, very excited. There's a lot of potential this year, and I think last year was maybe a little bit of a disappointment. And I think Sony has proven they're going to have
some good stuff last
year.
year.
There's some good stuff last year, but I think the year before that was much better. Like, there's a lot of potential. Sony seems like they're going to be bringing it. There's a lot of potential projects that are on the horizon. The Walmart leaks now seems to imply that things like Splinter Cell are going to happen, which is pretty exciting. I think Microsoft specifically has a lot to prove, which means that they could totally bring some crazy shit. And maybe I would love to walk out of E3 this year and feel like, okay, I want a 1X. That would be cool. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be really cool.
Give me a few games and give me a good excuse.
And my thank you of the week goes to Nintendo. They're trying something new with E3 this year, and because obviously they've already said their booth is going to be built around Super Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing the Disney World model. They're going to be booking appointments for the only way to play Smash Brothers at E3 this year is to get a ticket and show up at a specified time to play the game.
So they're doing the Battlefield thing.
The Battlefield. I don't know how. I haven't actually played Battlefield in E3 before.
That's what EA did for Battlefield 1 and Battlefront.
Basically, it means you won't have to wait in a line for 2 hours or 3 hours to play Super Smash.
You just have to wait in a line to get the ticket.
No, they're going to send out emails to all the attendees first week of June. You reply, you pick a time. That's the time you show up. It's
cool.
basically it's exactly how the Fast Pass system works at Disney World.
Yeah.
And having gone to Disney World and used the Fast Pass system, it fucking revolutionized the way you experience like a theme park. Like, that was amazing.
I mean, I think we saw like mini versions of that last year with what Sony was doing with signing up to go and see presentations.
True. And you know, I like that.
That worked out really fucking
Except when
well.
you're trying to like
Granted, the app kind of was shitty, and it was
and you were literally trying to make the appointments to do it on the app in the convention center at the on the day of, and like the signal in the center is terrible. You're competing with like thousands of other people trying to do it.
Like, it opens up and it's gone.
This is like 2 weeks before the show even starts. You'll know what day and what time you're playing Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
It only applies to Super Smash. Everything else in their booth is first come, first serve. But it's kind of like they're making a lot of smart decisions, especially now they're letting more people from the public into the show. Mm-hmm. It has a potential. They're moving towards a much more organized version of the show, especially with public being a more prominent part of it. So I'm pretty excited. Thank you for doing that. That seems like it's probably going to work out pretty well. I hope so. And that's it. That's our show. Show's over. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys for being here. Join us again next Thursday night on 4pp.tv for another episode. I don't know what we'll be talking about next week yet, but there will be things.
Pillars of Eternity 2.
Pillars of Eternity 2. Unfortunately, Detroit doesn't come out until Friday.
2.
So Detroit will be the day after we record next week's podcast. But
Who would want to talk about that, Nolan?
Fuck you.
wait, what game?
State of Decay 2?
Yeah, State of Decay 2. Shit, I'm even thinking about maybe trying to pick that up and get some of that in before next week. So it should be a fun show next week. Join us, please. Of course, you can find all of our podcast episodes over at 4playernetwork.com. You can find us on Discord. That's the best place to be if you want to be a part of our community. It's discord.gg/4player. And you can support us financially on Patreon. Patreon.com/4player is where you'll find that. And like I said earlier, we're going to be bringing some updates to our Patreon campaign. That should be pretty exciting. Some goals and whatnot. So, God damn it, Brad. Are you really eating those right now?
Oh,
Mad
Jesus
man.
Christ, Brad, why?
Oh, God.
You're mad,
He's eating
man.
the salty black
He
licorice.
put like 8 in his mouth.
That's disgusting.
Speaking of salty black things, look forward to the 4Player account on Pornhub coming soon.
Yes, I'm gonna.
Not a porn site.
I'm gonna go do some research on Pornhub this week and see what I can do about getting
Research.
Our
You're going to research on Pornhub.
I'm gonna do some research on Pornhub. See what I can do about getting our show on there. I will let everybody know how that goes.
Work real hard on that research.
Yep, work real hard. You know, with lube. Good night.
Bye.